क्यों नहीं हो रहा? शाजी मेरे एंड से नहीं हुआ, इसको जरा देखिएगा।
We're live, you guys. Anyway,
ओके।
hello and welcome back to another session by Grey Beyond Narratives. Today's topic is about the US and the UK relationships. So apparently, Donald Trump gave a tweet. I don't know what they would call it, but on Truth Social, he gave a tweet which goes something like all of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran. I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from the US. We have plenty. And number two, build up some delayed courage, go to the Strait and just take it. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore. Just like you weren't there for us, Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done. Go get your own oil, President Donald Trump. So, this is a tweet by Donald Trump. And another thing in news is that UK is about to deploy more troops and Sky Sabre weapon system to the Middle East. Even though there the people, the normal people of the UK and their representative in the parliament are questioning the whole thing that if they are American allies anymore or not. Have America moved on to his more troublemaker friends, or is he still with us? The third thing is, I think King Charles is going to be visiting America next month. And that's also in question if he should cancel the visit or if he should go. So that's the overview of the situation. Today's topic is going to be about the Strait of Hormuz and well, mostly based on the UK and US relationship and how this whole war thing is um, affecting it. So, yeah, Shaji, do you have something to say about this topic?
Yeah,
What's the atmosphere? What are the people in London saying about this?
well, I think there's confusion around the entire situation. They are basically, I think Europeans mostly, and even British, uh, in the recent past, have kind of been more in a shocking position, or you can say they're kind of shocked that United States would turn out to be an adversary rather than an ally. Ever since Donald Trump was elected, it was thought that it's going to make the relationship stronger, but it seems that it's getting weaker by the day. And the interesting aspect is the people who happen to be close to Donald Trump within the UK, they all happen to be far right extremists like Tommy Robinson. Then you've got Nigel Farage, who cost us Brexit and everything else. Related to that, even though he later on said that it was miscalculated. So now, especially with there is this notion that maybe King Charles can salvage the situation as he's about to visit the United States next month. But again, people think that there is an element of Donald Trump, that Donald Trump basically has this leaning towards royalty. But is he going to change his mind? Time will tell. I don't think it's Donald Trump trying to make Donald Trump can't do much. He's created a mess and now he doesn't know how to deal with it. So he wants other countries to basically jump in while on some days he boasts that he doesn't need anyone. Then he realizes that he does. So it's a mess. Uh, I've not heard many people say that, but this is a notion which is slowly taking root. Uh, that maybe Iran is the way forward for the United Kingdom in the same way Pakistan, India, China, and other countries have kind of dealt with them. They can probably negotiate in that way rather than going physical against Iran in terms of a war. But again, even that is very far fetched. Only time will tell. So go ahead. What do you think, Sid? So that's the basics in regards to this.
Well, in regards to Trump telling the UK that they can get their own oil, I don't think that the policymakers behind Trump are pro USA whatsoever. Because if we look at the history of UK and how diplomatically mature they have been throughout the centuries, because UK is not a young country comparatively speaking. It does not have a 200-year-old history. It has a history of almost more than 1,000 years old. It has survived all sorts of diplomatic problems. Uh, at one time, the sun didn't set on the empire. They actually can get their own oil without actually fighting. Trump does not realize that even though America has had quite some time as the top dog of the world, the hegemony is breaking, and empires don't fade away. They just change forms. That's what I've learned in history. UK can definitely get its own oil. It doesn't need to join Trump in a war. It can find diplomatic ways. And considering the history of UK, I think that they just might do that. That they just might find a diplomatic way. I mean, they are not very coercive to the idea of actually developing diplomatic relations with Iran if Iran strong arms this whole war. If they are able to, and it just might be the tipping domino for the whole uh, diplomatic change and the reset of diplomatic values and relationships that the world and the Europe has in terms of Iran. So even though because UK has had the policy of no forever enemies and no forever friends, they just serve their national interests. If Iran plays its cards right, and if Trump makes errors as frequently as he is making, we just might see a domino effect where it is the UK that starts the whole snowball effect of the world uh, making diplomatic channels with Iran. I mean, we already have two world powers siding with Iran, Russia and China. China takes Iranian oil. So uh, I I think that it's very stupid for the policymakers that are behind Trump to allow him or guide him to make such comments. I think the whole policy making staff is actually uh, controlled by Israel at this point. So yeah, that's my view on that.
Why do you think it's controlled by Israel?
Uh, because they are making uh, or allowing, so to say, Trump to make such statements. That too against UK. I mean, even though UK right now is just a tiny island in the European continent, or to the side of the European continent, it has a huge history and a bureaucratic experience to show for it. It is not a smart diplomatic move to say something like that to UK. So, such stupid maneuvering, which only benefits Israel and harms USA, what else can we consider? It's the process of elimination.
Okay, so this is what Starmer basically said, and in response, there was a Cobra meeting. So that we're kind of up to date, I'm just going to play this small statement.
in relation to the conflict itself, but also that question of how's it going to affect me. Today, we're looking at the economic impact, and I am asking for every lever that's available to the government to deal with the cost of living to be discussed at Cobra. Hence, we've got the Bank of England and others there. But I want to make sure that when it comes to cost of living, we're doing everything we possibly can at a very difficult period like this.
So what's basically happened is it's basically struck the economic side of things. So today there was a meeting in response to this, which was held with the Bank of England, various other people who were involved, to basically discuss the situation, as in how it's going to develop if this was to proceed and what Britain should do. But it's a developing story, and I think at the end of this entire fiasco, we're going to end up in a very different world in terms of who's allied to whom. What do you guys think? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that because at the end of the day, if their main concern is their economic situation, if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Iran is starting to develop a tolling system on the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the first country that agrees to it is going to have a dominoes effect, a snowball effect to the rest of the countries. And if it just so happens that it is the UK that bends the knee, uh, and just gets their oil after paying the toll, just like they do in Panama, just like they do in the Nile, and all other similar straits and canals. uh, that would completely change the world's stance in regards to Iran, because then all of this would actually seem legitimate in
I
world
don't think
politics.
UK is ever going to do that. I don't think UK. Donald Trump already knows that UK is never going to pick the other side because there's too much to lose for all of them. So then
What do they have to lose?
UK is not going to do. UK is not going to bend the knee to anything. They're going to go through it. They're going to survive through it, but they're not going to bend the knee because it's not just about America. It's about the whole NATO thing. It's about the Westphalia. It's about the whole Western civilization. I don't think so that the Spain was clever in that sense. Spain completely separated themselves from the very start. But for UK, I mean, if you know the dynamics of the UK and America, UK used to be the big brother and America was the little brother, and that have changed in recent history. Now UK is the big little brother, and America is the big brother. So I don't. I think well. I think Donald Trump thinks that UK is never going to do something where they will go against America. They might become neutral, but never against America. They were not going to ever bend the knee in front of Iran.
But it's economics, right? The most important thing for the UK has always been its internal, interests. If it is cheaper for them to pay the toll, why wouldn't they? What does America offer to the UK? Who is going to attack UK? France?
It's not just about that. It's about losing influence and how it's going to turn into, like you said, the domino effect. They wouldn't want that to happen. I mean, in their eye, it's just one president who's doing all this. If when the president goes away, America will be back on track. So I don't think they would be ready to take such a big risk.
But Iran would still be there. Trump
Mm.
will go away, but Iran would still be there.
Iran
The
is
Strait
not.
would still be there.
I don't think Iran is the English problem, right? Once the war is over, Donald Trump is gone. it will be back to normal, most probably.
But how
More
will the state?
taxes, maybe, more taxes, maybe, but it will still be normal. Or they'll just start buying from Russia.
Uh, they can start buying from. I think it would be more in the favor of UK to buy from Iran compared to Russia, because when they uh, buy from Russia, they are giving money to a country that is a detriment to the European society. Like it's on their doorsteps. Iran is not. There is no uh, situation where Iran would attack any European country. The closest European country to Iran in the mainland Europe would be what? Italy. Iran has no enmity with Italy. Iran has no enmity with Spain. Iran does not even have any enmity with Hungary, or what's that country right above Turkey? Uh, I'm forgetting the name.
Bulgaria.
So one thing is for sure, this entire fiasco in terms of what Trump has said has kind of brought the opposition and the British people on one side. I'd like to basically share another video. This is from the opposition leader. I'm trying to find get that on screen. Meanwhile, Madara, how are you, Madara? Madara, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so you've heard what's happened and what the entire situation is. Are you familiar with what's going on?
Hey, in Iran, you mean?
Not just in Iran, in terms of Donald Trump's statement today.
He said some nasty thing about the Europeans in general, right? Is that
No,
what you mean?
it was very directed towards the UK today.
So, like he said something like, you have to go and get the oil for yourself,
Exactly. The
like
same
this.
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, like at this point, you should not take it very seriously. I don't know why. This guy have a ability to say a lot of shit and make up the second day. So whatever comes out of his mouth, you should not take it too seriously. If you take it too seriously, then you cannot conduct any kind of diplomatic relation with the USA at this point in time. That's the reality we live in today.
Okay, interesting take. So I'm just going to share this particular video. So this is basically Kemi Badenoch, and she's the opposition leader at this moment in time. And after this statement, this is what she had to say.
War. I mean, that seems to be what many of the public think.
Well, I think that we need to do what is right in the British national interest. If Donald Trump says something that is against British national interests or is rude about our country, I think we should absolutely push back on that. I don't think we should have a war of words. It's very important that between countries, where there are
Well, it's
difficulties,
quite hard to
you have
avoid
them,
when he's
behind scenes. Well, he shouldn't be doing that, is my point.
Donald Trump.
Well, yes, there's no point doing that, because the only people who benefit or who want to see a degradation in the Western alliance are countries like Iran and Russia. When I was trade secretary, even when I was very angry with what other countries were doing, I did that on the phone. Or
That's
sent
what Keir
messages.
Starmer's doing.
Yeah,
So it sounds like you're pro what Keir Starmer's doing, not
That's the
Donald
way. Well, I
Trump.
don't know what Keir Starmer's doing. No, none of us knows. That's the way it should be done. If Donald Trump says something that I agree with, then I'll say yes, he's correct. Like drilling our own oil and gas in the North Sea. He said that to me when I met him at the state visit, which Keir Starmer requested from him. We all remember when he gave that invitation. I think that's absolutely right. We need to look after British national interests.
Okay.
So it seems like at least the politicians are getting on the same page. I think it wasn't taken very seriously what you guys think of this statement. So this is a woman who was like completely against Starmer's earlier stance. She wanted Britain to basically be an active part of this war. And in the initial days when the attack occurred, Kemi Bernadette was basically saying that she went as far as saying that we let our allies down. And now she's got a very different view. So it seems like Starmer took a stand, and even the opposition is basically behind him at this moment in time.
But does that mean, do you think that the US, like Sid says, the UK is going to take the other side or bend the knee?
I don't think they're going to take an separate side, but insults can only go for that far if, for example, the way Donald Trump is basically making these statements and what they're doing, it would be a hard push, because there is a time after 3 years when Donald Trump goes back, and some people will be counting on that somehow survive on that and we can revive this relationship. But it depends how damaged this situation becomes, because not only has he called Starmer names, Donald Trump has basically very openly said that Britain is no longer an ally. They've come up with all kinds of words, and it's not just Donald Trump. People in his party and people surrounding him have made similar statements. Seems like they want UK to be in this war.
And what's the possibility of the UK joining this war after being bullied into it?
I think at this stage in time, it looks very bleak. I do not think they're going to do that. But there is I reckon there's more a possibility that they're just going to, because it would be a huge embarrassment if they did it after this. They will lose reputation. It would seem like UK is a very weak country, and that would be very hard to digest. Another interesting aspect is that a lot of people are basically saying the scheduled state trip of King Charles, maybe we should reconsider that, and maybe he should abandon visiting United States altogether. Even that is being taken into consideration, and opinions are divided. It seems a lot of people, even the common British person, at this moment in time feels very insulted by Trump's comments. That's how this is different.
And
I
what if
mean,
the
Trump Trump has a very loose mouth. I mean, just look at how he uh, dealt with the Japanese prime minister. If he, does something similar with the UK royalty, well, things can get very sour. I have an understanding that even though the British people have changed association with their monarchy, at least to in a part of their
I'm
public.
afraid we shouldn't be
But
rewarding Donald Trump with this state visit. The truth is he's insulted our country, insulted our, shouldn't be rewarding Donald Trump with this state visit. The truth is he's. I'm afraid.
Is anyone speaking?
well, we were, but then
Ted was speaking?
the audio started. Why don't you put the video on the screen so we can see?
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is basically the third political party, the Lib Dems. It's their leader. So he's basically calling for. So this is what his opinion is. I'll just play that.
We shouldn't be rewarding Donald Trump with this state visit. The truth is he's insulted our country, insulted our troops. He's undermined our economy with his tariffs and this illegal war, which is putting up people's petrol prices and energy bills and mortgage costs. And I don't frankly think it's fair to the king. He's so unpredictable, Donald Trump. He could criticize our country again, he could criticize the government and leave the king in a very embarrassing situation. So I think this is the wrong decision.
Is this the beauty of the opposition, that you can say these things, but actually it's not you that's prime minister that has to navigate these tricky diplomatic important relationships? What would you do if you were prime minister? Would you genuinely not allow the state visit?
Well, frankly, I'd have handled the whole relationship with Donald Trump very differently right from the get-go, when he was threatening tariffs on our economy, when he was undermining the support for Ukraine against Russia's illegal invasion. I was calling him out, leading for Donald Trump. They support his illegal war that's done such damage to our country. I've always argued we should stand up to Donald Trump. And
What
if you
exactly
look at
do
how
you mean
other
when you
countries
say
have managed that. Well,
sorry to interrupt. What exactly do you mean when you say stand up? Spain has gone so far as to close their airspace to US military aircraft. Is that how far you go?
No, you take each issue by issue, but look what Mark Carney, the Liberal Prime Minister in Canada, has done. They have a huge border with the United States. They're more exposed to the US economy than we are in Europe. But he's been prepared to stand up to Trump and say publicly that other countries should work together. And that's what I've been saying, actually. I've been talking about building our relationship with Europe, with a new customs union to protect us from the... Well, I'm talking about in practice, because Donald Trump has damaged our economy. Let's look at alternatives, like a customs union with our European friends. Let's work with Canada and other countries who share our values and are as appalled as we are by the behavior of Donald Trump. So I think you can stand up to him. For myself, I refused to go to the state banquet that was given to Donald Trump because the way he was supporting what was happening in Gaza, not bringing a peace, and he was the only person who could do that. So it's right that we call out Donald Trump. We've been consistent in doing that. The government has very belatedly started criticizing Donald Trump, but unfortunately, on this occasion, they made the wrong decision and advised that the King's state visit should go ahead.
Should US bombers be taking off from British air bases?
Well, originally it was talked about as a defensive measure to stop the bombs hitting, for example, our bases in Cyprus. And we went along with that, but we did say there's a real fine line between supporting defensive actions and offensive actions. And we've been calling the government to account to make sure they don't go over that line. We've been very worried that we could get dragged into this illegal war of Donald Trump's. I know the Conservatives supported it.
Does standing up to Donald Trump therefore not mean, not having dinner with him, but you can say yes to him using our air bases?
Well, as I said before in our conversation, I said you take each issue by issue. And in the middle of this illegal war, the damage it's doing to our economy, to all the pockets of your viewers, coming on the back of the way he insults our armed forces and our government, I really don't think we should be rewarding him. And I think many people I speak to say, look, this is an American president, sadly, who we can't trust. He's no longer a reliable ally. I've been a passionate advocate of the relationship between the United Kingdom and America for many years, even when I haven't agreed with the president in the White House. You need to find a way normally to get along with them. But I think Donald Trump is completely different. I think he's the most corrupt president we've ever seen. I think the way he behaves to his closest allies is appalling. Look what he did over Greenland. And there's a long list of the way he's behaved badly. And I just don't think it's right that the Prime Minister is asking the King to do this state visit and putting the King, frankly, in a very difficult situation with the unpredictability of the way Donald Trump behaves and speaks. I think it could be quite embarrassing for our King. I hope it isn't, but there's a huge risk there.
Okay, so that was it. So this is a general mood. So same politicians who about a month and a half ago were basically suggesting that maybe Britain should have an active role are now conversing about cancelling the King's state visit to the United States and use of British air bases by United States. So it's like completely kind of backfired. So we've got Fry with us as well now. Fry, what do you think of this entire fiasco and where do you think the UK should head? What's your opinion on this? I think Fry is not here. Maham said Madara.
Yeah, I could not help but notice how fervently this gentleman said the illegal war over and over again, and he paralleled that by saying the illegal war of Russia. Basically, uh, in my experience, the British politicians, uh, especially on that level, uh, do consider their words carefully. So, if that is the case, he is gesturing that the whole war that is happening in the Middle East, it is Israel and America that are pursuing an illegal war, which is similar to how the UK and the rest of the European Union views the Russian encroachment in Ukraine. Uh, that is a very strong gesture there.
Can
And
I ask a question though?
But I
sure.
don't think he said that.
Oh, he
He
said
said
it
that multiple
repeatedly.
times. He said that multiple times.
Yeah.
I have a question. What is a legal war? Was Iraq a legal war?
A legal war is with casus belli that is considerable.
Well, a legal war in terms of international politics, or at least in national terms in various countries, are where there is an agreement, there's sufficient reasoning that you go to war in those terms. That's all what it means. But mostly in under international law, you'll find that for some people a war is legal and for others it's illegal. But for instance, nobody is going to say the war against Germany during the Second World War, when it began, was basically illegal. That was definitely
But
legal.
was the war against Afghanistan legal?
So again, when Afghanistan and Iraq happened, Tony Blair went through the parliament. So in British terms, yes, and that given circumstances when the WMDs and everything else was spoken about, even though that was never proven later on, it's legal in terms of process, but the information turned out to be incorrect. So you can, in hindsight, say that was a wrong war, but in terms of process, they took.
I mean, you
At
mean
least,
to
at
say
least they, at least they followed a process.
give me a moment, Madara. Give me a moment. You're telling me that a million people died because of a mistake?
Yes, of course, it's one of those unfortunate realities. That's how decisions are taken. The 45-minute threat, it never kind of got proven. There were, in the end, no WMDs. But the difference is this time round, it's
Then why was Saddam? Why? What was his trial for when they couldn't find the WMDs?
for various
Well, he
things.
was generally a very bad person.
No, that's
No, I
also
understand.
corruption. That's
The
also corruption.
uh-huh.
What?
If you look at Iraqis right now, and if you ask many Iraqis, and if you look at various research papers, and if you look at academia, a lot of policy advice, a lot of things which he did were wrong, like chemical bombings on certain people, war crimes, and everything else. But then there were aspects which you cannot deny were incorrectly imposed upon him. So it's a nuance.
I mean, the way his sons were, I generally, just say that he's an evil person by viewing how his sons were. I mean, torturing for your own pleasure, that's sadistic hedonism.
Very good people can have very bad children. That has nothing to do with that. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm not sure of the Saddam thing. I'm also seen some stuff where this one historian was explaining that majority of that statue destruction of Saddam was done by people paid by the American forces to in front of the camera to make it look like the Iraqis. All of the Iraqis were very happy that he was being removed. There's
Well,
that as well.
well, one thing is for sure, a good person can definitely have bad children, but if somebody has the bad children that have their personal torture selves, the good person would at least stop them, if nothing else, take away power from them or take away the
Yeah,
political
it's not
power.
that easy. If it was that easy, I don't think any parents would want their kids to be Taliban. But there we
I,
go.
I think at the end of the day, whenever a dictator or somebody who's on the opposing side is portrayed, everything is exaggerated. All those things. Who knows how much was true and how much was false?
The
I
body
That,
double.
that we can say about the whole history, no?
No, no, no. When it comes to
that's
Qusay Hussein,
you see.
majority of the
You see,
information comes from his body double.
hold on. So somebody who supports Saddam is going to come and say that Jose, his elder son, was a very nice person. Somebody opposing him is going to say, no, he was a very evil person. The fact is, these are not important aspects of history. What we can discuss are I don't know, even if you guys went on with this conversation, I can guarantee it's going to end in a circular kind of a thing, because that, even though they were important aspects of that war, but you can't prove either way. It's more an opinion rather than fact based.
Tony
What do
Blair
you
was
think?
also Tony Blair was also very upset that Starmer didn't join the war actively.
Well, Tony Blair is an evil person in it.
No,
Yeah.
Tony Blair has reasons to do that, because Tony Blair happens to be in charge of Middle East studies. He has the Blair Foundation, which is very much involved in the Middle East, and so you can say he's also one of the people who was basically part and parcel of the board of peace which Donald Trump assigned. So it's obvious which side he's going to be coming from. He's obviously, if he's involved in the board of
Also, he was the one behind the Iraq war thing as well, so understandable.
Iraq war thing, I would not blame Tony Blair. A lot of people do, and the reason is he got certain information from the
He
security.
did make a lot of money from it.
No, hold on. The reason there was an actual trial for against Tony Blair, there, and the reason why you can't prosecute him or hold him accountable for that is very, very simple. First, he got information from the intelligence, which said a 45-minute threat. Then he basically shared that intelligence within the parliament, and the parliament from all sides, based on that intelligence, voted to go into that war. So that actually relieves him from that entire situation.
So that war was legal because the UK thought that no one else should have a weapon of mass destruction. Only they should have it.
No, I think this is more to do with the threats which were which they thought. It's not about UK thought it was legal or not. The process was legal. If there's a 45-minute threat to your country, whichever country that might be, they're going to look out for their interests.
Wasn't it Netanyahu who went to the Senate and gave some proofs about the weapon of mass destruction?
Well, as far as the British Parliament was concerned, it was the intelligence reports which basically they had hired certain consultants to conduct, and based on them,
Were those consultant ever taken to court then?
no, nobody was taken to court.
So all million of people died.
Also, wasn't Tony Blair also mentioned in the Epstein files.
What does that have
No,
to do with
one second. I have never really read up on it. Shah, is after the whole war thingy that they did in Iraq, are the UK and US doing something in Iraq? Like, are they like paying them something, helping in construction, or they just like, oops, we did it again, Britney
different
Spears?
companies are involved in reconstruction of Iraq, and they set up a government over there or the framework for that. I don't know how constructive that is, but every Iraqi and the economics basically show that post Saddam Hussein, Iraq has really never recovered. It's not operating in the way it used to operate. I'm not endorsing any dictatorship, but at the end of the day, it was pretty developed at that time, and today it is a broken country.
And that's exactly the case of Afghanistan as well.
You're broken but peaceful.
How is it?
How is a broken country peaceful?
No, no.
No, 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 no. It's like economically broken but peaceful
It was
societally.
peaceful before that as well. I don't know,
No, no, no,
Madara.
no, no.
No.
During Saddam's time,
Why,
no.
what makes you think it's peaceful, Madara?
Now, currently,
Yeah, yeah. Do you think it's peaceful? How?
I think it is peaceful than during Saddam's time or during the war of Americans. I think it's more peaceful now because I see at least people going there, visiting them, talking to people. There is no Kurdish war or something like they
Have
used
you
to
heard of
happen.
so Madara? That's an interesting take, but I think either you're unaware or how should I put it, or basically forgotten that
Ignorant.
ISIS never existed in Iraq. Shia Sunni conflict was
I
never.
never said ISIS. I said Kurdish.
No, I'm telling you, it's post Saddam that ISIS basically formed within Iraq, and it's part of Iraq and Syria where the ISIS established their rule in pockets there. And secondly, it is in Iraq that Shia and Sunni conflicts started to emerge. And even within this situation, where they're going into Iran, the very reason they are not using Iraq to the full extent is because it's already very unstable. It's not peaceful at all. We don't hear about it, but that there are factions fighting within Iraq. Uh, Syria was the same, but under Jolani, it's kind of stabilized, as people say, but it's very volatile in that situation. And I think even the general, even Iran has a huge influence within Iraq because of the large Shia populace of Iraq. And I think Soleimani, the general from Iran, was actually assassinated in Iraq. So the entire situation ever since Saddam was basically removed from uh, from Iraq, uh, Iraq has never recovered, neither economically, neither in terms of a complete society, and neither in any other regards. I don't know how you think it's peaceful.
Actually, Madara, I want to ask you something. What do you think ISIS is the abbreviation of?
Islamic State of something something. So it's
Iraq and Syria.
okay, right.
Islamic
Got it.
State of Iraq and Syria. ISIS stands for the Islamic State of Iraq and
But
Syria.
these guys are gone, right? These guys are gone, defeated.
Where?
These guys
Where
are
We
did we
defeated.
go?
3 years ago, I believe there was a huge action against ISIK, like the ISIS of the Khorasan region. ISIS still exists. It's not as strong, but it exists. The Taliban and the Pakistani army both were killing them. I believe it was 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago. There were huge operations from both sides against them.
Dude, I saw like some Iraq, like Indian travelers going to Iraq and taking some videos, and I don't know, they were moving through a lot of places, even like rural places. It seems quite peaceful enough. I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
I mean,
is this
I
ISIS
could go, I
not
can definitely go to Iraq and find some place that is not being bombed right now and make a video.
It's very similar. You can go to Afghanistan and like even areas in Pakistan, like or any war-torn countries. People still go to Ukraine, even though a war is going on, because when you have to remember when war occurs, it's not like people are bombing every minute or every second. It's just more frequent. Even when Pakistan and India skirmishes were occurring, it wasn't like people were getting bombed and strikes were occurring every minute or every second of the day. You get my point. So the rest of the after an attack occurs or a suicide bomb occurs, there is a window of 18, 20, 22 hours, sometimes weeks, depending on frequency, where things kind of become normal.
no. My question is like, does Iraq have a like Iraq has a functional government, right? They have a government which works, which is like
Afghanistan has a government that works. What's your point?
no,
Senegal,
no.
Gambia,
Wait. Let's
South
like
Sudan. I mean, South Somalia, Somaliland. All
yeah,
of these
dude,
places
dude,
have
I don't
functional.
know. I don't know about these places. Okay, I'm just like trying to understand. Like, they have a government which is established by the Americans. It still works, and it's still control of much of the Iraq, right? Is it not true or not?
Matara, give me a second, Sid. Do you think before the American went there, there was no government in Iraq? They were living in a jungle in tents.
No, like the most of the people who are like Indians completely opposed the war against what's his name? I forgot. Nas
Mhm.
shit. Saddam
Iraq,
Hussein.
Iran.
Saddam Hussein, because he was very friendly to India. So
Mhm.
I mean, it's not that we hated him. It's not that we hate now. It's the reality. We have to accept the reality. I'm just like
That
trying
he
to
that,
understand.
that he had no government. That's the reality that you want to explain to us.
No,
How
he
was he
had
a
an
dictator?
no, he had a government, but it's not a perfect government. He's a megalomaniac. He was killing a lot of people, uh, especially the
Modi have killed a lot of people in Gujarat. Nobody's complaining about that.
yeah. But you have to like the scale is very different.
But you do accept that, don't you?
No, I don't accept anything.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
I
Anyway,
mean, the it's very strange. Your measurement, your gauge for a peaceful country is a country that has government. There are places in, uh, you know, India
No,
where
no, no,
the
no, not just
economy.
government, but stable, peaceful government.
How, how do you define stable, peaceful governments?
No violence,
Does India have a stable, peaceful government?
more or less.
India has a lot of violence.
and what are those cookies doing?
And what about those communist? I don't know, remember what they're called. What are those
We have
communists
our
called?
issue. We have our issues, but in a scale, like you have to like look at it like this. 1.4 billion people. Of course, there will be some issues. We will, deal with that.
Uh-huh.
There are
Do you
issues
think
in every country, Madhura. There are issues in every country. But
I
when
know,
there
I
comes
know, I
when there
know.
comes an
Look, look.
international, you know why everybody keep giving examples of Iraq? Because it was a disaster. It's still a disaster. That's why everyone keeps saying this is going to become another Iraq. Please don't go to war. It was they were not saying that because oh we stabilized Iraq, we can do that for Iran too. Nobody ever said that. You're the first person who's saying that.
do you think Sudan is a peaceful country?
I know nothing about
I
Sudan.
think rather than scrutinizing Madara, he said something and you guys corrected him. I mean, we don't need to execute him. Execution is not legal in the UK or Germany, where he is.
Yeah, but bullying is so.
That's just wrong.
Look,
Madara,
look, maybe I'm just said that because I was too optimistic about Iraq. I thought the people are living a bit more peacefully. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Uh, I just
Look,
thought that
there
people are
are
living a bit.
majority of the people in Pakistan want to leave Pakistan, right? Uh, and we're having a problem of brain drain on dramatic and epic levels. Nobody wants to go to Iraq. There are some people in Pakistan who would rather go to Afghanistan. Nobody wants to go to Iraq.
Yeah, that is not
That
I
bad.
mean,
It
look,
is
this is
that
not
bad.
what I'm saying. Of course, it's a fact, but
Let
it's
him
not what I'm
go. He
saying.
already accepted. He has no idea, man.
yeah, he just assumed because you have to understand Madara is not the only one. There are a lot of people
Yeah,
because
because we don't hear about Iraq anymore, so we think a lot of people think that it's just all hunky dory and
yeah,
yay, you know.
it's same with countries like for example, like he mentioned Rwanda or Sudan, all these countries or Somalia, for example. People think it's over, but it's not really over.
I, if I'm not wrong, it's over in Rwanda. Like Rwanda is very peaceful. A few
And
years ago, my dad was in Rwanda.
we have live examples. So that's exactly what Madara basically thought, and now you think exactly the same about Rwanda.
No, the reason is a few years ago, my father was in Rwanda, and he
Yeah,
could not
just like
stay here.
Madara's YouTubers, your father was in Rwanda. Same
Madara's YouTuber.
example.
No, no, the YouTubers want to make videos. My father was there for business, and
Yeah, and people who visit Iraq visit for various reasons. People visit for business as well.
you know what? I think I'll ask an AI how things are going down in Rwanda because I
Okay,
trust my dad.
okay, fine. Go ask the AI and let us and tell us what it said.
Yeah, in fact, show us. Share your screen. Go on, Sid. Sid.
Let me prompt it first, man. Come
No,
on.
prompt it in
Yes.
front of us so we know what you're asking and you're not
Okay,
manipulating.
okay. Don't
Yeah.
be so bothersome. I'll share my screen.
You're sneaky. You might tell it to like just like give it a prompt,
Okay.
Take
There you go.
AI, take my side.
How are things going in Rwanda? Is it peaceful? That is what my prompt was.
Where is
Uh,
it though? Why can't I see it?
uh, Add it
What
to the
happened?
stage.
Okay.
There you go. Good. Short answer, yes, Rwanda itself is generally peaceful and stable internally, especially compared to many countries in the region, but there are serious tensions and conflict just across its border with Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, Congo is known to have a lot of problems. Rwanda does not. Rwanda is known for strong government control, low crime rates, clean, organized cities. There is no active war or widespread violence inside the country right now. for everyday life inside Rwanda, mostly calm, politically stable, safe compared to many African regions. The important problem, border conflict. There's a problematic neighbor, like Pakistan had a problematic neighbor, and another problematic neighbor, and then another problematic neighbor. And
Can you now ask about the conflicts? So ask a question. Are there any conflicts with rival regional groups within Rwanda?
are there any violent conflicts currently happening
Not
inside Rwanda?
not today. It will think you're saying today in the recent past.
I did not say today, I said currently. If something used to happen 10 years ago,
No, 10 days
I
ago.
no, that is why I said currently.
Okay, just
Actually, you know what?
type it.
I'll advance it. I'll make it better. Currently, or in the recent history, let's say in the past 5 years, happening inside Rwanda, where opposing parties have partaken in uh, violence against each other in order to attain power or resources.
Internal conflict. You could just write internal
Yeah,
conflict. Genius.
internal conflict.
Or does Rwanda have any violent internal conflicts? Uh, okay. Do you think this is a neutral enough prompt? I
Yes.
think it's a neutral enough prompt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. No, Rwanda has not had active internal violent conflict like civil war, armed opposition, fighting for power, etc. in the past 5 years. But that does not mean there are zero problems. They are just different in nature. Let's break it down carefully. Internal violent conflicts in last 5 years, no civil war, no armed opposition fighting in Rwanda. There are no active rebel groups fighting the government inside Rwanda, no large scale ethnic violence, militias, or insurgencies, no organized violent struggles for power inside the country. In fact, reports say no identity based violence in recent years. God damn, it sounds nice, no? So, in terms of your exact question,
Wait a second. Sid, I just want to ask a question from Shaji. Shah,
yes,
how does it feel to be proven wrong for the first time in your life? Are you going to accept defeat?
I've proven him wrong many times.
Yeah, it happens. So it's one of those things. So Rwanda is apparently safe.
Yeah, it have. You're saying it like this doesn't happen quite often. We discuss a lot of things.
If I
Yeah,
can
so
impose it.
when have I claimed that I'm always 100% correct?
You have not.
Yeah, so what's the issue?
You guys are just ganging up on me. I know.
Can we do for Iran, Iraq?
Yeah, do for Iraq now, go on.
I think I'll just copy the initial
Yeah, and
prompts.
write post Saddam.
Okay, in Iraq, I'll write post Saddam.
No, 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 no,
In
not
this,
just no, no, no. Wait. Not just post Saddam. Post 2000, when the Americans finished their war there.
we'll do that in the second prompt where we go into the details. First, let's get the initial report. Iraq is not in full scale war right now, but it is not fully peaceful either. It's best described as fragile stability with ongoing risks and occasional violence. What is relatively stable? No nationwide civil war like in the past. The government is functioning. Major cities like Baghdad are mostly under control. Daily life continues for most people. Reports. Okay. What makes Iraq not fully peaceful? Spoil over from regional. Okay. Iraq is being affected by the ongoing Iran US Israel conflict. There have been airstrikes inside Iraq, drone and missile attacks, attack on military bases. Iraq is not the main battlefield, but it is being pulled into a larger regional conflict. Militias and armed groups. Iraq has powerful militias, some linked to Iran. Well, of course. These groups sometimes act independently, can clash with foreign forces, or influence politics. Occasional violence inside country, not full war, but still incidents like drone attacks on bases, rocket attacks on embassies, small clashes, or protests turning violent. For example, 2026 protest in Baghdad led to clashes with the police. That's very recent. ISIS still exists. It is a low level threat, but it still exists. The group is not controlling territory, but small cells still operate. Risk of resurgence exists. Post war problems. Even after past wars, over 1 million people still displaced. 1 million. Do you know how many zeros are in a million? Of course you do. Big picture. Think of Iraq like this: no civil war like before, ISIS era is over, stable but fragile internally, affected by regional conflicts and militias. Honest conclusion: Iraq today is more stable than it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago was ISIS era. Not truly peaceful, at risk because of regional wars and internal armed groups. Simple way to understand: Rwanda is internally peaceful, Iraq is partially stable but still violent. Now, how would you want actually, you know what, let me get the previous prompt so we can engineer it
I think we got the answer. Why
Yeah,
are we
what
doing this again and again?
yeah,
because you asked me to.
No, let it go. We're done.
Okay.
yeah. Moving forward. So Rwanda is apparently safe, and do you know what would be interesting to find out? That if
Mhm.
Rwanda is doing so well, why is it doing so well? And what does is it because of China, Russia, who helped them to
Google.
get safety? Because it can definitely, if it would have been the US or the European countries, they would have like made it a poster boy of success. So
Actually,
just check, please. Check.
why don't I tell what my dad said?
Okay.
And then,
Know that and also check.
okay. Well, what my dad told me was that the biggest reason for peace in Rwanda is that they had, uh, what would it, how would you say that in English? Uh, how do you say armed mafia in English? Like general amnesty. Is it called the general amnesty
Yeah, from who?
for, for,
Muffy.
for people for people who did a lot of atrocities? There was a
Okay.
general amnesty.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, carry on.
That is what happened in Rwanda. Okay, so I'm going to prompt it. Can you tell
Yeah,
me
can you bring it
why?
up?
What?
Bring it
What
up
can I?
as well.
Oh, okay.
Or
There you
protest.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me why and how has Rwanda become such a peaceful place? What was
Who is
the
it? Ask for whose foreign investment is in there, who mediated, and like who does it have good relations with, and put in 3 or 4 countries: United States,
was it
European Union, Russia,
because
and China.
investments? Was it because of a policy? Was it because of some foreign um, uh, foreign what allying with a major power? Uh, Anything else,
Yeah, and
Shaji?
also and also ask what its current relations with United States, European Union, UK, China, and Russia have been.
Also, tell me afterwards how are the relations, how are the, how is the relation, how is the relation of Rwanda with USA, China, UK, Russia, and other major uh, political, other major international political powers. This is fun. Okay. So the strong centralized control, most important factor. Under Paul Kagame, Rwanda built a highly controlled state. Security forces are strong and effective. The government has tight control over politics, very little tolerance for opposition that could destabilize the current country. Result: violence is prevented before it starts. No armed groups can organize internally. This is the core reason for stability, not foreign investment. So, basically, uh, it all starts at home. Post genocide policies, unity over division. After 1994, Rwanda made a deliberate decision: ban ethnic political identity. I think we should do that with Punjabis and Pashtuns, and especially in the Sindhis. Like that would be wonderful. Promote a single national identity, Rwandan. Programs include reconciliation courts, that is what my dad was talking about, and strict laws against divisionism. Result: reduced chances of ethnic violence returning. That's wonderful. The government prioritizes internal security, intelligence networks, rapid response to threat. This just sounds like a police state now. This creates low crime, high order, very little visible unrest. Okay, I'm getting uncomfortable with Rwanda now. Rwanda has invested in infrastructure, promoted tourism and tech, improved public services. Foreign investment plays a role here, but it supports stability. It did not create it. Controlled political environment, opposition parties are weak or restricted, media is tightly regulated. Again, back to being a police state, so there is very little open political
So
conflict.
it became a dictatorship, basically.
Why don't we ask AI even that?
Yeah. So it sounds like a very controlled dictatorship, very
It sounds like
Chinese style.
Rwanda is
In
a
when that of
dictator.
the nineties
Is
China. That's what it sounds like.
state is dictatorial, or does it have a functional democracy or some other form of government selection?
Hello, can you hear me?
Now
Yeah.
we can, yes,
My internet went bad. Can you
of course.
repeat, please?
Oh, we were just saying that Rwanda sounds like a police state, and we're there.
So they're not allowed to have any opposition parties, or they're restricted. Nobody should have ethnic identity. Anyone starting to like differentiate or whatever, or have an opinion, is not tolerated. So it's
I think we are wrong in that assumption.
that's what you wrote. What
Yeah,
you
no, that's what I prompted it. So I was leaning towards it giving me an answer that said that it's a dictatorial place, but apparently it's not because it went against my leaning.
Yeah. So what did it say?
It says that Paul Kagame just won 90% in the first time, and opposition candidates faces restrictions, sometimes a bar arrest. Okay, elections happen, but it's basically China.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it's 90s
okay.
China. That's the side they went. Yeah, okay, interesting.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's why it's not a poster boy for the West, because it did not follow democracy and everything. That's why they're not
It
like.
So it's a communist
almost
state.
sounds, it almost, well, it's not a communist state, but it almost sounds like democracy is not a very good option.
That's
It
a
all
that's okay. So you might think that, but that's your opinion, not mine. But there we go.
Well, of course, it's not your opinion. You're living in the UK. You say that, they'll probably
No,
sack you.
I reckon I reckon basically different countries around the globe, according to their circumstance, have to adopt a particular kind of way to rule. In some places, democracy is very good. Like, for example, I don't believe Pakistan should have democracy.
Oh, neither do I actually. But what we definitely should not have is dictatorship
That's
like we're
that's a
having
very
right
very
now.
dangerous thinking.
No, I'll tell you why. I've
Or
got a reason.
he's not even in Pakistan. It's not dangerous for him at all.
hold on. Hear his opinion, man. Calm down. So, Madara, why do you think it's dangerous?
Because when you think that, that means that you don't give, like, even the poorest of poor in India vote, and I don't think it's a good idea, but they vote and they get the thing they want, whatever that might be. It might be even like think I don't even want, right? But
I don't think.
if you don't have that, that you are having a jamindari system. You are going back to the jamindari system where you have few people decide what everyone wants, or
Mm,
like you like at some point you like you don't even care about them. You just
mm,
like let them die, and then carry on with your life
mm.
for a few people, which will benefits like few people. So it's very dangerous thinking.
So, Madara, a quick question. In my opinion, democracy is not even a good system for India, and I'll tell you why. Name a country uh, which basically became a first world country by having democracy. Even United States was not a full functioning democracy when it became a power and came out of a certain phase, and neither was the United Kingdom or any of the European countries. There's no country has become developed through democracy. Democracy comes at a later stage where people are more informed, they know what they're doing, and there's you can afford to make mistakes, go into different directions. But till date, there has not been a country which was underdeveloped and came to being as a developed country, or even like considerably developed in a complete manner, which was a democracy.
Yeah,
Look,
but I don't like the alternative either. I understand what you're saying, but I also don't like the alternative where like who will decide, who will make decision for all the people. I mean, who is to decide who will make the decision? I mean, you are not a Chinese bureaucrat who like I mean, for Chinese it worked out because they had a history of like very long history of central power and making central decision. But what makes you think that it will work out for you? Who will make this decision?
Madara, it worked out for China, it worked out for United States, it worked out for majority of the European countries as well. So
No,
what?
no, no, no,
Don't
no, no,
forget
no, no, no.
Singapore. Don't forget
Not for
Singapore.
United States, not at all.
Yeah, it did. It
At
worked
what
out for
stage?
United
At
States.
what stage United States was centralized communist country?
Have a look at when United States
Wait a
became.
second.
I'm not saying.
Why are you including communism in this?
Yeah, I'm not talking about communism. I'm talking
No,
about
I'm not asking you. I'm asking
Yeah,
Madara.
I'm answering him, man. Just hold on. You don't need to shout at them at all. Just having a conversation, Said. You want to speak? Just go ahead and speak. Don't shout. Speak, speak.
I'm s- I'm sorry. I already spoke. You can't stop my speech. I all just did it. I
You can't
asked him why
stop
are
my
you
speak.
speech, sorry. I just wanted to know why in his mindset the opposition to democracy is somehow communism. There are other ways, there are other paths, there are hybrid systems. There is Singapore. So why communism? You because you said that like 4 times. So now I'm intrigued. Why communism?
Singapore is a very communist state. It's a very socialist state. They force you to stay to equalize when it comes to getting a apartment or something like this. They actually force you to have kind of racial harmony. They force it. It's a kind of communism for me.
What about Norway? Is Norway communist?
Norway doesn't have to be communist. They are communist in a very
They're a
they are
more
very socialist
state.
because they have oil. They
That's a
they don't have to be communist.
democratic social welfare state. That's what Norway is. Yes, sir.
So in Madara's view, every country in the world is gauged by how communistic it is. It's a wonder. What about Afghanistan? Is Afghanistan communist? How communist is Afghanistan?
I don't know about Afghanistan.
What about India? Is India communist?
It's very socialist.
It's very socialist. Oh, okay. Anyways, Shaji, why don't you start your line of interrogation?
No, my wife
Why
died.
are you interrogating the poor guy?
Yeah, I'm not interrogating him. He's my friend. I don't know, Sid. What is up with Pakistanis? Whenever they see an Indian, why do they want to like put him down? What's wrong with you? Come on, tell me, Sid. Tell me.
I'm sorry. It's like muscle memory.
Yeah,
and and you live in the UK, all right? You're used to it. I'm not in the UK. I'm living in Pakistan, and when he said that uh, people should be able to make their own decision and who would vote and whatnot, I was very eager to just jump in and say a few things, but I just controlled myself. But I can only control myself so much. It's in the muscle memory. I'm sorry.
I mean, he's a friend, man. He's here. He's not
I
representing some
know. I mean, hey,
state or something.
honestly, I think I am being nicer to him compared to how much I am aggressive towards Gurvinder. And he doesn't mind. And I am sure that Madara does not either.
Yeah, that's because he's Punjab and you're Punjab.
Madara is also Punjabi.
No, he's not.
Madara, aren't you a Punjabi? Hey, Madara,
I am opposite of Punjabi.
you're from Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
Oh, I was right on there. Nice then, nice.
So you can't differentiate between a Tamil person and a Punjabi.
Not when they're speaking fucking English.
Yeah, why? Tamil people have a very different accent compared to Punjabis.
Not when it comes to English.
Yes, they do in terms of English.
Well, then I guess you have come across more people because you're living in the UK. Because to me, it's all different shades of brown.
Okay, let's move on. Matara, are you comfortable? Or do you feel threatened?
No, no. I'm just like wondering. I like
Do you want us to remove Sid?
no, no, no. Of course not. I kind of lost my like what we were talking about the last time. Something important. I don't know. Something about Iraq or what? I
Yeah,
don't remember.
exactly, because it just deviated to Pakistan, India. But coming back, we were basically talking about how the UK and how UK should now respond to Donald Trump, and where the situation is. It seems like all three major parties, the one in power, Labour, the Prime
Look,
Minister.
you are a British citizen.
Yeah.
What you want the government to do?
Oh, so this is just solely my opinion. I think they should go the India Pakistan route, the China route. They should at this point realize that United States, at least for the next 3 years, is not an ally. It's not a friend. They're basically allying with majority of people who want trouble in this country, namely Tommy Robinson, Nigel Farage, Katie Hopkins, a lot of other right wingers. They support these groups. So what they need to do is they need to come up with a policy and see if Iran basically agrees to let British ships pass. Because as far as Trump is concerned, he basically said that Britain should get its own oil if it wants to get that oil from through the Strait of Hormuz. So rather than going to war with Iran, I think British diplomats should go and speak to the Iranian regime or whoever is in power through communication channels which are open to them, and basically tell them that treat us no different to how you're treating these other countries. If you look at the business shipment, not oil, but shipments from Russia, they're proceeding fine as well. So if that is the situation, I think that's what the United Kingdom should do.
By the way, that's what exactly what Metz also said. Uh, that he said, okay, we will just talk with the Iran, and get our shipments to whatever we have to do. We do it. I'm really like still kind of don't believe that you guys went for the Brexit thing. It's like a really shitty deal, both for UK and both and also for the European Union. It really sucks.
Yeah, I agree with that, but that's happened, and I think that's past a stage now. We just have to live with the consequences. But as far as the current situation is, there's another interesting video. So from the Defense Secretary of the UK, I'm just going to bring that to the stage, and let's see what he has to say.
The US is a uniquely close ally to the UK. We do things as two nations that no other militaries or intelligence services do. And my job as Defence Secretary is to make sure that we can, in this Middle Eastern conflict, defend British people, and we are, British bases, and we are, and British allies and partners, and we are.
So pretty much, I think Britain has. It's now very much clear that Britain is going to take its own decisions rather than in terms of alliance with the US, and that's where it's pretty much headed in this case. What do you guys think? You just heard this as well.
I think UK will fully participate in this war at some point.
They
What
might
makes you
as well
think?
also call it a crusade at that point, no?
No, but what makes you think that?
I mean, the way it's been bullied into participation, don't you think that it's been at some point it will just cave in?
Well, if it caves in now, the way Trump and like the government in US is threatening it, it would be very embarrassing. I think this will, in the long run as well as short run, make UK look very silly as a country, a very weak country.
I think if UK has to get involved, it has to have a very big incentive or excuse, which I don't think Iran will give. Like if Iran attacks something in UK or somewhere in Europe, maybe UK will get involved, but otherwise not. Otherwise, there is no justification for this.
Yeah, exactly, and how, especially how things have unfolded. I think it's going to be very hard because even the opposition leaders who wanted UK to participate are now on the other side. When Starmer originally took this decision, there were a lot of people were accusing him of basically not backing the allies, and also there were right wingers calling him a very pro-Islamic, pro-Muslim community prime minister. But it seems like his decision has been correct. Here he's doing opposite to how Tony Blair behaved. And that's another reason why Tony Blair, apart from being on board of peace and everything else, basically is very much against Starmer because it is his party as well. So but now a month or so on, I think Starmer has emerged as a leader who took a tough decision, which was unpopular. He did not cave into pressure, and it's worked out for the UK in that way.
But did it work out economically?
So now, after this thing, I think today at the Cobra meeting and whatnot, uh, the chairman of Bank of England the head of Bank of England was there. So were major politicians and the cabinet members and the security staff and the intelligence were there. They're going to come up with a decision in regards to what the way forward is going to be, which is going to include the economic, uh, how they're going to fight this economically, how they're going to look at it in security terms, what those decisions are going to be. So it's going to be a reset, because if you look at it, there are other options to get oil. One of them being negotiating with Iran, because it's obvious the Iranians and the British have made that very clear to the Iranians from day one that Britain is not at war with Iran. So they're going to play on that further, and I think this can also strike a regional shift, and can be a defining moment in this entire conflict. If, for instance, negotiations occur with Iran, and this is just speculation, it's not a fact, and they go through, and Iran decides to view Britain as a neutral country, then the problem is solved.
So, how long do you think this war will go?
No one knows that.
Maybe if they drop sufficient amount of missiles on Israel, it might shorten.
Wow.
You keep blaming Israel. I don't think Israel is the primary player in this war, Sid.
Well, of course, to you it's always the evangelical Christians. You would- you would put anybody under the bus before you put, the before
Are
you
you
put
calling
them
Shaji a
under the bus.
Zionist? Are you calling
No,
Shaji a Zionist?
No,
no, I'm
look. I really
I
want Pakistan to drop some bombs on Israel.
Yeah, I know you would love
I
that.
don't want anyone to drop any bomb on anyone, please, guys.
Come on, Neham. Where is your courage?
Nah,
Where
this
is
is
the
not the way to
Islamic
go.
bomb?
That would actually not be a show of courage. It would be a show
Yeah,
of
come on.
integrity.
Look, guys, come on. Where is the Islamic bomb? If you don't use it now, when will you use it?
Nah,
See,
let's hope
Shaji,
it never gets used.
these Indians are now mocking our bombs. They think
Wow.
that we are going to use it for,
So we're going
14
we're going on
plus.
a racist rant now, huh?
This is not even a racist rant at this point. I mean, when
You're
are we
saying
going
these Indian. It's just one Indian man.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any control either.
He doesn't even have
I,
an
I,
I,
Indian
I I
passport.
saw I saw a very interesting meme today. So there's a psychiatrist, and Donald Trump is like visiting him, and he asks Donald Trump, "Are those Iranians who are negotiating with us here right now?" Do you know what that reminded me of? There was a Sanjay Dutt movie from India, where like what was it called?
Munna Bhai MBBS.
Yeah, where Gandhi comes in and speaks to,
Munabai.
yeah, some, yeah, that movie.
That's Munabai.
Yeah, but that was the first one, but this is the second one, so it has a
Okay.
different name. It has
Second
a
one was
different
also
name.
Munna Bhai MBBS. No, it was
No, it
called
wasn't.
Munna.
It was something else.
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
Google that.
No, we don't need to know that.
Movie.
It's not that
Really
important.
not that important.
Yeah, it was called Lage Raho Munna Bhai.
See? So
Same thing, Shah. Really, there's not much difference there.
Madara disagrees.
To the title of the movie.
Sorry, I didn't get it. Like you, like I don't care about Bollywood guys. I have no
Uh,
idea about it.
he is more into Tollywood because he's a South Indian.
Hollywood.
What
What?
is the Kollywood
It's called
from Kerala?
Hollywood.
Uh,
The Karelian movie
No,
industry.
Tamil.
Isn't the Tamil one called Tollywood?
No, it's Hollywood.
Ah, oh. Does Kollywood have alternative to Munna Bhai MBBS?
Yeah, we have. It's really great.
What is it called?
Vasul, I don't know, something.
So let's close the UK topic and then talk about something else. Is there anything else people need to add? But how do you guys see the UK and US relationship progressing? Make your final comments on that so we can wrap that up and move on to something else.
Well,
I
in
think it's
my
going to
view,
be fine once Donald Trump leave.
yeah, I mean, it always does. I mean, Iran is going to be there, UK is going to be there, and Donald Trump is not. So, and UK has a history of, not having enemies or friends forever. So, I think UK is probably just going to sit this one out so that the crazy man in orange can, get out of the office, and maybe somebody who has more than two brain cells comes into the Oval Office. Maybe then they can talk. I mean, if UK caves in to America in these kind of circumstances, I think British populace is probably going to eat the government alive. You know how they did it in the Epstein Island.
Okay. So I think I've pretty much given my opinion on that as well. Madara, do you have something to say? And then we'll move to Sid's favorite subject, Epstein files.
No.
Yeah, go ahead. Sid, why do you keep bringing the Epstein files up?
Oh, it's a way of mocking the Western hegemony, the New World Order, the uh, Western global moral systems. It's a mockery.
Correction, this has not been the New World Order. This order's been around for good 500 years now. It's an old
What
world order.
the Epstein and 500 years? Elaborate your stance.
I mean, the West has been controlling, waging wars at the East, and been majority of times in control of most of the things. 500 year would be a little exaggeration, but yes, it's still a bit a century old at least. Some majority of the system is in their control anyway.
Yeah, 200 years now. It's been 200 years
Yeah,
since.
not very young, not very new. Still not very new.
In the grand scheme of things, probably, but yeah, then we can just say the Western model of morality. It's basically the reason why I bring that up. It's a mockery of the Western morality.
You're referring to that as the Western morality?
I'm referring to that as a mockery of the Western morality.
Please explain yourself.
Yeah, explain
All
yourself.
the things that throughout the recent years in the social media, in the mass media, the way that they have portrayed the Muslim world and the Eastern world to be immoral, and everything that they accused us of, they did that in Epstein Island. So it's a testimony to how fake their whole system is.
How is that Western morality? That's not majority of people involved in that.
Majority of the people never are anything.
No, a
It's
second. I
about
have
the
I have a
people
question.
who
I have a question. I have a question. Shaji. Fine. It is not a representation of Western morality. But didn't the old Viking and the Germanic religions actually got into these stuffs? Like, child sacrifice and all that.
No,
But
it's a
no,
myth.
Yes.
It's a
hold,
myth.
Yes. No, it's
no,
not a
It's a myth.
myth.
but
It's
there's
not a
a
myth.
but there's a problem in that, because the thing is that is something which the West discarded. That's something which they look at
not
as
apparently so,
You
not
you
apparently
you can you know what in subcontinent, especially a certain, these if you notice, most of the Hindus who have become Muslims, you notice there are certain, like for example in Sindh, people can't eat beef because somehow that thing have stayed behind. So it really doesn't change that much, does it? Hello.
and it was not just the Germanic
hold on.
pagans
So
that
so
ate kids.
so
Uh,
hold on, sir. When you're talking about a society, what you look at is
I'm
the.
not I'm not I'm not saying the whole
Actually,
society.
can
I'm just saying that there are certain remnants of that society that
so
are
that's
left
always
behind
going
in
to be
some
there.
part of the society. Not all of them, of course. You never put all of them in the way.
I thought that is understood. That's not what I'm saying. So
Okay.
Sid basically claimed that uh, the Western civilization or Western society is like he questioned their morality. But then you gave an example of the Vikings. That's exactly like somebody in India who is a Hindu right now, or even left Hinduism, is probably still practicing some kind of a child sacrifice. I'm not saying they are, I'm using that as an example. That does not mean people who converted or majority of Hindus are practicing that. Now, when we look at the Western civilization, when it became Christian, it discarded in terms of society, legal systems, everything else, whatever was pagan and whatever went against a certain notion. Now, if somebody is breaking that law, or some people pertained into some kind of rituals which are not acceptable today, or however it is, you cannot say that that is the morality of that society. Because if you look at when the Romans basically became Muslim, sorry, became Christian, at that point in time, the Byzantine Empire is what it was referred to as. They were very, very clear in terms of what, and that is thought to be the foundation of the Western society. And that's why you, even at this stage, hear the right wingers with who uphold these things, and the conservatives, whether they happen to be in the UK, anywhere else in
Yeah,
Europe,
I have
can I
something to
complete
say.
what I'm saying, please?
Mm.
Thank you. Be patient. I'm just going to speak once on this. Otherwise, it turns into an argument, because then things are left out, right? It's very clear. You hear people like Geert Wilders. You look at the Constitution of United States. You look at the system in the UK, and they say it's very known fact and academically proven that what these societies and these laws are based upon Judeo-Christian values. So that's what changed. So that's what these societies are based upon, and that's something which was acknowledged by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, at that time as well. So he was talking about the Christians in that region, and the Byzantines when they took over much later on. But there you go. So that's the basic issue I have when we basically say that this is Western morality. Western morality in modern times is all about
Okay.
Judeo-Christian values.
Okay, listen to me now. Listen to me. I want to give you an example. This is just for the sake of discussion. I'm not saying that this is how it is. I'm just trying to understand the situation. In Desi society, the subcontinent, in I don't know about Hinduism, Madara can correct me, but in Islam, honor killing is not considered the right thing to do. Like it's murder, right? But somehow it still happens. It's the remnant of the older, the before Islamic community, right? And it happens all over subcontinent, Central Asia, and everything. It has nothing to do with Islam. You can say that we took over the Muslim identity, but there are some part of cultural things that we still do.
It is. I agree. It's
For
cultural.
example, let me give an example, Madare. For example,
No, no. I agree
Christmas.
with you. I'm agreeing with you. It's cultural.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So, example is that Christmas, right? We all know that Christmas and Easter, they were both pagan events, but they were given a Christian face, and they started celebrating it as a Christmas. So you could say that they took their pagan identity, some part of their pagan identity, with them into the present, right? So is it possible that there is a certain, like, not all Muslim are going around honor killing anyone, right? But there are certain people who are stuck in stone age and who do such
No,
things.
no, 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 no. I mean, are you telling me this?
No,
There
I'm
is.
I'm trying to explain this to Shah. I'm trying to understand this honestly. So I'm just
You
So
saying
both.
that, is it?
so
I thought you
so
both coming from the same region.
No,
You understand
hold
each
on
other.
one second, Madara, 1 second. Maham, like when you say that somebody's doing that, do you think that is something which is like accepted by law, or the society as a whole in
No,
that?
no, 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 no. Acceptance has nothing to do with it. Whatever happened in Epstein file, nobody accepts it, right? It's against
So that
the
is
moral
why you
judgment.
cannot say
So,
that it's so listen to the point now. So
mm,
that is
mm.
why when crimes happen, or something occurs which is devious, whether the
Mm.
elite does it or somebody in the common man does it, and you cannot say it is a Western morality or that
I'm not
morality.
saying it's right. I'm not saying it's Western morality. I never said that, right?
No, shit,
Uh,
that's what I was answering.
no, 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 no. I'm not talking about this. The Sid thing, if you've left behind. I'm just trying to understand at this point, right? there possibly, I mean, the things that happen in Epstein file, they don't happen normally, right? The things we have read and everything, they don't happen casually, even in the West, right? That's why there's an uproar against it. My point is that you think that these people, because even in the recent past, in fact in the past, there has always been groups who've done stuff like this, right? Who have kept their paganistic rituals alive, right? It's not, Epstein file is not the first case.
Okay,
There was
okay,
another one in
okay.
Canada
Come on,
of
come
some
on.
some decades ago.
It's not pagan. Okay, it's
No,
when
pagan is nothing to do with you guys, man. This is own kind of paganism. This is other kind of
no, it's
paganism.
okay, okay. Go on, go on.
Yeah, it's not the your type, they're not the Hindu paganism, it's the other paganism. So you think, Shah, that some of these like at this point we cannot deny that there are secret societies, right? And there are certain as just normal secret societies, like, and there might be some worst cases, and then so do you think that these well, these the things that happen in Epstein file, it has something to do with keeping those traditions alive, or those rituals alive that have majorly died in most of the Western society?
Why do you think somebody carries out a ritual?
I don't know. Must be
What's the
some
purpose behind a
nefarious.
ritual?
Must be some nefarious
Maka,
thing.
most of the like a child abuse happen in Catholic churches. It is part of
That's a different thing.
I
We're talking
think
about the kind of things that happen in Epstein files. That's just that's
so.
bad too. That's
Why,
pedophilia. That's bad too. But we're talking about the next level of that. That is the Epstein files.
so
yeah,
why
it's very similar to Catholic Church, no?
No, they don't need
no,
babies,
it's
man.
not, because the difference is that Catholicism does not condone child molestation, and in Epstein file.
But they covered it, Sajis. They covered
No,
it.
but
No, because
that
they don't
happens because they are being sworn into celibacy, and
no,
it's
but it's a
unnatural.
crime, right? Child
Yeah,
molestation
it's a
is a
crime. It's a
crime,
crime.
right? But when somebody is performing something like that as a ritual, what is it? What is the intention behind it? It's not that
Something.
they're nefarious. They
Look,
think it's going to gain them
you
something.
cannot. You can,
Can I
it's a
complete,
It's
please?
perverted
going to gain them
karma.
what?
They think they're going to gain something out of it, right? They are not doing that because they think it's like fun or anything else. Somebody who's going to kill a child, for instance, or even a goat, and then go and drink its blood, or do something in regards to that, actually believe that it's going to help them achieve something, right? They're not doing that on in an empty way. They think it serves a purpose.
So apparently, I have this. So I was watching this thing, and it said that most of these things that we see, these are actually connected to spirituality. So in their the whole concept of what they do, there is the very strong concept of karma. So what they do is, for example, when they put up these signs in Hollywood, right, in different designer ads and stuff, and then there is an uproar, but then everything goes fine. Is kind of like putting it in front of people so they know what's happening, and that kind of negates the negative karma that's going to come from doing all those things. That's really weird, because like they're kind of saying that we're doing it out in all in front of you, so the karma of what we're doing does not come back to us, because we are kind of making it okay by not doing anything about it.
Have you heard of Church of Scientology, right?
Yeah, of course everybody heard of that.
So when you look at Church of Scientology in recent terms, a lot of stuff which they practice has kind of come out, and you've got some very popular people who are associated to that, and some who've left that, who've come out and spoken in certain terms. Now the question is, what drives people to such rituals or such organizations or cults or even religious kind of a situation? They believe they're going to gain something out of it. And
It
at
is a
times,
satanic kind of ritual.
Can I tell you guys a story?
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Like there was a law in India. that was passed that you cannot marry between before 18 years old, and but there are some tribal people, right, in India, in Northeast. They married their daughters before they're 18 years old, and the Indian government went and retrieved these girls and completely destroyed their marriages. Do you think it is good or bad?
I didn't exactly catch on.
So you cannot marry if you're not 18 years old. But there were some tribal people in Northeast India who are married before 18-year-old. So the Indian government went and retrieved these girls, arrested the guys who are married to these girls. Do you think it's good or bad?
Obviously, it's good. They were breaking the law.
Maham?
Yeah, I mean, same answer, of course. I mean, they were at the end of the day, they were breaking the law. But how do I explain this? Shad, do you think these things have merged? Like, for example, Islam have black magic, right? It asks for the kind of weird things I've heard people doing for that is really weird. In Hinduism, there is a tantric side, right? And then there is this. Do you think this is the dark side of Christianity? What they were doing?
So number one, Islam does not have black magic. Black magic is something which is shared across the globe, and black magic is something which
No,
is,
but I'm saying that it's a dark. matlab,
yeah.
it exists.
Hear me out. So black magic is a term which is shared by the Abrahamic faith. Jews, Christians, and Muslims all basically converse about black magic, and it's a very specific thing, and they are against it. So it's not part of any religion. And as for like these dark things,
No, but like that's not my point. That it's part of Christianity. My point is that it's like the dark side of Christianity that exists that is forbidden.
That
yeah,
does not make it
no,
dark
it's not
side of
the dark
anything.
side of
How are you
No, but
framing
there's
it?
Christianity.
like the misuse of Christianity, just like the misuse of Quran makes black magic.
So
No.
so
Maham,
That is
it's
not how it
Christianity. It's
works.
not Star Wars.
so the thing is, what none of this is related to Christianity, Islam, or Judaism. But so what you'll see even in Epstein file, and that's why I have a huge issue when Sid basically said that this is a clue for Western society. In Epstein file, in these
I said
files.
a
Hold on.
mockery.
Do you guys have a reason to interrupt? Can you wait and like then answer me? There's like fucking four people here. I don't
Please.
interject anyone. Now you fucking go ahead.
I can't because you just said something wrong. I was just trying
No,
to
I
correct
then
you.
fucking wait till I complete and then tell me I said something wrong.
Then the point would be about something else.
Fuck's sake, man! I don't know how to do mind child. Like,
If you're going to tell me that
Guys,
your
move on.
opposition
It's
was
fine.
that
Move on.
I was
Sid.
saying that it is the Western
Right. We heard
morality,
you,
I
Sid. We
was
heard you, Sid. We heard you, Sid. Now move on. Okay. What
no,
was you saying,
I
Shah?
would like to continue, please. And this
Okay.
time,
Go on. Continue.
if I'm wrong, just shut the fuck up and then open your mic when I'm done and correct me. Is that understood? And I'll
Yes,
show
Shah.
you the
Can you
same.
move? Shah, can you move to the topic, please?
Yeah, this happens all the time. I am moving to the topic. So what I was saying was when Sid basically said that it is part of Western morality, or it shows what Western morality is all about, or whatever he said when he used the two words together, I am against that, because if you look at Epstein files, it consists Muslims. It's not a Christian thing. It's not a Western thing. It involves Arabs. It involves Pakistanis. It involves Iranians. It involves Africans. It involves everyone. There's a dark side of people around the globe who happen to be in the elites who are into these weird rituals. Have you forgotten that the cloth of the Kaaba and a copy of the Quran were also like dedicated from there. So these are a bunch of people who basically believe performing certain weird rituals using any religion, calling on the dark side, whether it's successful or not, that's another question, is a legitimate thing to do, and it works, and that's what they're deploying. Now correct me if what I've said is wrong, Sid.
Yes, you missed the whole goddamn point. My whole point was not that, because the word that I used was that I use it as a mockery of the Western systems. A mockery of something is not the identity of the said thing. And it does not matter if bloody, I don't know, the Imam of the Kaaba was partaking in those whole things, because it was something that was uh, built around and upon the Western hegemonies, the American hegemonies. That is what I was attacking. And you somehow are associating that with the Judeo-Christian values. By the way, no bloody actual thing such as Judeo-Christian values. There are Judeo values and Christian values, and after the Renaissance, the Christian values had been on a decline. If we are to say that the current Western civilization is based on Christian values, well, then you would be kind of wrong, wouldn't it? Because the state and the church separated. They differentiated their morality. I mean, what kind of Christian value is the current uh, sexual freedom that the West is experiencing? There is no such thing in Christianity that allows for such things. I know Christianity at least to that extent, but it is a part of their civilization.
So, so there's a new name for the Western Empire. It's called, yeah, let me find it. It's called the
The Western Empire.
Anglo-American Zionist Empire. AZI. AZI. I don't know what
No,
they would
no,
call
no,
it.
no, no. As long as Western world was Christian, it was much conservative and backward than Muslim world uh, during the Crusades.
Yeah,
I don't know,
actually, that's true.
like there is
Mm-hmm.
like
Ah, yes, that's
all
true.
this. No, all this like enlightenment came from the Renaissance period, from Italy and other places in Europe. It's
Yeah.
not really like the West is not following Christian values at all.
Okay,
It's just
So
something else.
after, so what I've read, Shaji, is that after the Renaissance, people were expecting for Christianity to go away, but surprisingly, Christianity stayed, but it kind of got mixed up with the Nietzsche mindset, Friedrich Nietzsche. You know.
so when the term Judeo-Christian is used, it's to, what they're referring to is the Ten Commandments. I would go as far as saying that if you look at the Arabs or the Pakistani society as a whole, you've got a spectrum of people. Some people are religious, some people are not religious. But overall, when you look at the laws, you look at the legal system, you look at the frameworks, to steal is a crime, right? To perform adultery is in a marriage still has repercussions, even though they might be financial, right? What you see in the modern day world, in the Western civilization, even post Renaissance, they, you can say they're not that conservative, but where they are basically getting their morality from, in the way the framework is set up, it is very, very clear. In the UK, we don't have a constitution which is written, but it is very much engraved within the society, and it's said all the time. Uh,
No, 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 no. You have a constitution.
I did not interrupt. And now, if anyone wants references, they should go and look at the Constitution of United States, where they reference that. They should look at the note of the dollar bill, which says "In God We Trust." You should hear the speeches of the last 8 or 9 presidents, including Donald Trump. right? Where they mention the Judeo-Christian values. You should listen to Tony Blair's speeches. You should listen to the Church of England, and how the monarch in the UK is basically the head of the English church. So when Judeo-Christian values are mentioned, that's how it is. It is mentioned. It does not mean that every law is going to be in that particular way, or it is like that. You're looking at the basic crux of where they are getting their morality from, and that's an accepted academic term. That's how it's described, post and from previously to Renaissance.
You do understand, Shaji, that you said a whole lot of nothing, right?
I think I said a whole lot of nothing in your opinion because you're a dickhead.
Well, I am a dickhead,
Yo,
but the reason
yo,
why I
yo,
said
yo, yo. Nah, nah. Sid.
what
No, 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 Sid. Mute yourself. Mute yourself. Thank you. Mute yourself.
I'm going
No,
to
no,
do.
no, 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 no. Mute
No, no,
yourself.
answer the question. Instead of saying what you should do if
Oh
you
my
disagree
God.
with me, if you
You
disagree with me,
guys.
hold on, calm down. It's okay. If you're going to say that, if something insulting is going to come in that way, you're going to hear something insulting. If you do disagree with me, then basically show me in context. I can show you references. Do you have
I
any
was
references of what you disagree with? What part
yes.
do you disagree with? Name that. Rather than
Yeah.
saying you said no load of nothing. I mean,
Hey,
I if I said load of nothing, then you should just like explain why it was nothing. What are you responding to?
I was going to. Come on, guys. It's almost like you guys don't know that have a habit of saying funny things. It's my thing. Why are you even getting
No,
angry?
you're
What?
not supposed to say that. I give you a thing. If you think I said bullshit, then challenge that bullshit.
Yeah, it was gonna come. I am going to do that. Jesus Christ, come on. I'm not a machine. But anyways, the reason why I said that it's a whole lot of nothing is because practically it has no implementation. It's as same as saying that Pakistan has Islamic law because our constitutions. What is the third line of our constitution? That all laws shall be made according to Quran and Sharia, something around those lines. And then we get amendment in which our General Asif Munir kind of gets whole life, what's it called, amnesty, whatnot. Things like that happen. When you're saying or building your argument, especially in regards to how society is forming on the basis of what is written down as a law, it might be applicable for court's purposes, but in practicality, these things hold no weightage whatsoever. When you're saying that the morality of the Western world is built upon Christian values because that's what's written down, that holds no water. You have to look at the practical implementation of things. Just because the dollar bill says, "In God we trust," does not mean that is how the American government is functioning. We observe the American government's functioning to tell how it is working. The text on the note does not dictate it. If it did dictate it, then we would be looking at a different world. But we are not. It is as same as saying that Pakistan is a Islamic law abiding country because the constitution of Pakistan says so. I can't become the president of Pakistan just because I say that I am. Similarly, if we are looking at the current Western society, and then you just say that it is based on Judeo Christian morality, well, first of all, I do not consider Judeo Christian morality a thing because if you're just saying that the Ten Commandments are the basis of it, then well, we follow the Ten Commandments as well. Are we Judeo-Christian? That would a more appropriate term for that would be Abrahamic moralities. But the point is, in practical implementation, there's nothing that is based upon that. If you're assuming that theft is considered a crime, well, where is it not? If your argument is that murder is bad, well, where is it not? Things that are provably immoral through evolutionary traits cannot be described as something that are part of a specific history that is related to Christendom or Judaism or Islam. The current Western society and the Western systems of morality are a relatively new thing. It would be a folly to consider it based on Christian values, because the last time uh, the peak of Christian values in the Western world, it was round about the Renaissance period. So, which is why I did not say that I was mocking the Judeo-Christian values. I said that I was mocking the Western system. The Epstein files have made a mockery out of the Western political and moral systems. And that is what I said. Thank you.
Okay, so you answered your question yourself, but let me reiterate some of the points. First of all, what a civilization consists of is a political structure, system of governance, laws and institutions, and what they indicate, economic systems, production and trade, and how they're capped, how what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, and resource distribution. Right, then you've got other aspects of those things, and then you have a very imperative aspect, which is belief and systems, religion or ideology, moral frameworks, rituals, and cultural meaning in terms of things. That does not define how many people are following it to the T and how many are not. But even today in the Western civilization, when you're going to talk to a normal individual, they will pretty much, even though they might not be religious, and in some cases they'll be atheist, they're all looking for the same things. For example, it is considered a bad thing to cheat in a marriage. For instance, it is looked down upon to go and thieve. So when you say that other societies always had that, that is incorrect, because there are examples of people right now. For example, there's a gentleman who's a good friend of both of us, Mujahid, who sometimes comes over here, who wants to propose a system where stealing is not punishable because it won't exist. And anarchists actually believe in that. So there's an aspect of that as well. So when you talk about why it's called Judeo-Christian is very obvious, because the Western civilization, even post-Renaissance, did not accept Islam to be, they accepted Islam or Muslims to be part of the Abrahamic fold, but they did not agree with their entire values, and they wanted to keep that differentiation. So this is how their textbooks define that. When it comes to Muslims, that Abrahamic term is more appropriate to use in those regards.
What is the difference, Taji?
There can be loads of differences, but that's for example, the biggest difference is they do not accept Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to be a prophet, and obviously there was rivalry between the two civilizations at that time, and there were wars and everything, and that's what continued. So said, I hope that explains to you. It's not that who is following what. Like Pakistan is a perfect example. The law, whether it is implicated or how conclusive it is in terms of implementation, is a different question to what the law is accepted by society. Whether they're following it or not is a different thing. But when you're looking going to look at the constitution of Pakistan, if you're going to look at what the legal system is based upon, you'll have to agree that it's very much integrated Islamic values.
So the conclusion is what in regards to what happened on Epstein Island?
No, it's
What
not about
changed
the
the
Epstein Island. So I would again say, when all these things are stated, especially when you look at the Epstein Islands, I would not even place it as something which has anything to do with the West only. It's something which is very global. It occurred on an island somewhere where all people from around the globe were part and parcel of that situation. There are just as many Muslims, Muslim names, Muslim people of Muslim background from Islamic countries who happen to be named in those files.
what was the power structure behind all of that?
What do you mean power structure? What's the power structure in that?
What was the
Was that condoned by was that condoned by the American legal system? Was that condoned nationally? Was that something which was proposed openly? There's a reason they were hiding it, right? Because
Yes,
it
there's
was
a
not
reason why
legal.
they were hiding it. I was asking what were the power structures that were behind Epstein Island and what was happening? What was the whole blackmail about? The
It's a mixture
people
of
that
things.
were, yeah, a mixture of things that are. How
That cannot
hard is it to
withstand.
point out? How hard is it to point out that it was the elites of the Western world that were controlling the media, the finances, and turning the world into, uh, well, the horrible hell that we are living in right now, that were a part of it? How hard is it to say that?
They were part of it, so was the rest of the world. And to basically state that only the Western civilization has to pay for that, or they were involved in that, is basically a fallacy. That's not true. Anyone
No,
who was involved in the facilitation, anyone who was involved in the ritual play, anyone who was involved in from a commercial angle, anyone who was involved in terms of partaking in those events, they're all from all around the globe, including the West.
that's just like saying that the Saudi princes that were named in all of those things are somehow part of the Islamic world. When an entity is enslaved to them, how can you, I mean, how can you associate an entity that is enslaved to those power structures to be a part of something that that power structure is oppressing?
So are you
Isn't that,
saying all the Saudis who were part and parcel of that were enslaved into being forced into being part of that?
I would not say that they were forced into it. Enslavement does not necessarily have to be forced. I would say that those princes are not part of the Islamic world.
Thank you very much. And I would like extend that and say that majority of people involved were not part of the Western world and civilization and mindset either. And we should be very clear about that.
Well, then
Just
what
in the
is?
same light, in the exact same light in which you just pointed out that those were not Muslims. You can't provide immunity to people of your own background if you're not willing to extend that to anyone else. Either both of them are involved, and that if it's a Christian or Western civilizational matter, then it also becomes a Arab stroke Muslim civilizational matter, because they were involved.
What
Trust me.
are the structures upon which that elite is, you know, riding or uh, basing all of their powers off? It's clearly not the Eastern world. It's clearly not the Islamic world. It's
No,
clearly
they
not
have
China,
money.
Russia.
No,
It's not
it's very
India.
it's very simple, right? They have money. When they have money, they can buy off anyone and they can do anything they want. That's
And
it.
who did they buy? Did they buy India? Did they buy
Everyone.
China or
They
Russia?
they bought they
They
bought every.
based they based all of it on the Western world, didn't they?
Do
And
you
now
know
you
how
want
much?
me to, and now you want to say, do not say that Western world.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
also includes the Western world, right? I mean, they're also corrupt people.
well, of course, all of those people are corrupt. I am
I'm
talking
not,
about
no, no, no,
corruption.
no, 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 no. Not all of those people. I didn't say all of those people. I'm saying that when you have a lot of money, you can buy enough people to be corrupt.
We, I am talking about corrupt, bad people. Like,
Yeah, me too. If you have enough money, you can buy off people. That's it. That's what I'm saying. Like if someone does not sell, is not corrupt, you go some other place. So they look for the place where people are corrupt and they buy off people. Is it not enough for you to
if
understand
that
like
was the
why
if,
this?
wait a second. If that was the case, considering I know how things are over here, the Epstein Island would be somewhere between India and Pakistan, but it's not. So clearly, it's not how corruptible a population
Maybe
is.
the I mean maybe they are you're underselling your country, man. Maybe there are
Probably.
people maybe there are people who are more corrupt than your guys there.
So basically, you're saying that the Western people of Europe and America are more corruptible than
No, that's not what I said. I said that maybe
continent.
you are better than other people.
It doesn't matter if I'm better or worse. It's about the power structures. It's not about individuals or a small group of people or a large group of people. It's about how the power structures are made. If we are to criticize a world,
Maybe
a
they don't
world
like
level
Pakistan. Look,
civilization, you have to
look.
understand the Western civilization is a global level entity. It's not
Okay,
like saying the Punjabi civilization or the Bahori civilization or the Quebecian
okay.
civilization or things like
Look,
that.
it's about like maybe they think that the Pakistani girls are too ugly to do that.
Madara, what are you talking about?
Dude, you forced me out like with this answer. You don't get any answer from me.
It's all right.
Look, Sid. I don't know why you want to believe that this is just you can just like say that this is a Western civilizational thing. There would be no outrage in the West if this was part and parcel and it was an accepted fact. The very fact that the biggest noise, the loudest noise is coming out from these parts of the world is that it's not an acceptable thing, is it? So it means the society is rejecting it. It simply means not only the society is rejecting it, it is condemning it. Not only are they condemning it, it's an outrage. You would have not heard about this if this was accepted in the West, would you?
Was there an outrage in Pakistan when this whole dictatorial regime started? Of course there was. There still is. I would be surprised if the Western world did not go out in outrage when all of this was opened up. I think you're assuming that what I'm saying means that the whole Western world and the individuals inside of it are a part and parcel of the elite that controls it. And I would be amazed if you think that that is what I'm saying.
No, my,
Because
my contention with you is when you use the word civilization and then you basically say use the word morality to go along with it, what you're implying is the entire framework, which is actually not correct, and there has to be a distinction.
a framework that has no practicality is not a framework at all.
Frame so are these people not getting prosecuted at some stage? Do you think they're not being ashamed of what they're doing? Do you not think that there is like repercussions for this?
Trump is currently the president, is he not?
Uh, I would hate to break it to you, but Trump in those entire Epstein files, I know a lot of people have said a lot of things. It's still not proven how much involved he was and what his participation in exact
Mhm.
terms were. There are a lot of speculations, and the thing is, if he was later on to be found out in those regards, and it is proven, it is going to cost him. It definitely
Yeah,
is.
after he is done and dusted and used, of course, that
So
would not really
again,
matter a damn thing, would it?
so again, when we say something is part of a civilization, it has to be except, like for example, Salah is part of the Muslim civilization.
It's a part of our religion.
It's part of the Muslim civilization. Like anywhere where it's also part of your religion, but Salah is part of the Muslim civilization. It's an element. Right, when you're going to say that something is part and parcel of any civilization, then it is thought to be good, it is thought to be practiced, it is something which is condoned, and there is no outrage in regards to that. Like for example, there can be difficult issues for marriages are also part of the Islamic civilization in terms of permissibility. But at the same time, not everyone does it. But it would be an incorrect thing to say that four marriages are not part and parcel of the Islamic civilization. They are. Right. So if something is part of, you're associating something as a legal part of a civilization, or you're basically blaming their morality in those regards, in those terms, then you have to be very, very honest, and you have to be very impartial when you make that statement. That's no different from some white people or some non-Muslim people or even some black people going out and claiming that all Muslims are terrorists or
Shaji,
Islam condones
you are
terrorism.
trying to defend something
I'm not defending.
that
I'm
is
pointing out
not,
something very, very clearly,
you're
which
pointing out something that does not exist practically,
I'm.
or in this particular situation.
It
I
does.
understand that people have culture. I understand that the normal people and normal societies do not uh, partake in child sacrifices. That is not what the mockery was for. The
Please
mockery.
explain how child sacrifice is part of the Western civilization. Please explain.
How did I just not say that? I said I know that it is not.
Yeah. Then what was your original thing? You so how
Do you
how
understand how is a mockery works?
Look, when you're going to basically make those statements, and they're going to be blanket statements in those regards, what you're not building upon is like reasonable conversation. But anyhow, that's up to you. You need to make your own mind. It's not nothing to do with me. I've given my bit on this. I have nothing more to say.
Well, you were the one who was saying that we should talk about Epstein file because it's my favorite subject. So
I've still,
there
I've
you
still not, I've still not told you not to speak about it. I just disagree with you.
go. You'd have to.
Seth, if you think if you think Epstein file is the byproduct of the Western civilization, then you are completely wrong. It is not.
The Western civilization is the byproduct of the forces that allowed Epstein files. That is what my point was.
How? I mean, it just takes one or few individuals to take this kind of steps, right? To like get all this people and
Sid,
gather
if
all these
if
people
if
and
if if that was true, wouldn't like people be okay with what was happening instead of
Not at all.
losing their mind?
Not at all. You
If
you
it's
cannot
normal.
you cannot denature all of humanity, even
No,
if
but
those
even people
people
in the
are.
West are horrified by the things they see in the Epstein files.
Yes. I, what did I say? I said that the current Western civilization is the byproduct of the powers that are partaking in those ritualistic things. I'm not saying. I'll give you an example. For a lot of times, Shaji in previous argument mentioned that cheating is considered or adultery is considered to be a bad thing, right? Well, there are clearly visible people who are not to the extent that would make it normalized, but a substantial amount of individuals that are openly of the opinion that cheating should be or adultery should be decriminalized. In some parts of America, it is. It's not a crime to cheat. Um, but killing a child.
it is not crime to cheat in most of the places. It's not crime to cheat in any places actually.
Of course it is. What do you mean it's not a crime to cheat in any place?
It's not. It's
No, it's not a
immoral.
crime. What is wrong with you?
It's immoral to cheat, said.
It's unethical to cheat, but
Yes.
it's not a crime.
You're telling me
Good
that in
catch,
majority
Madhura.
of the world. Okay, so we have reached that point in civilization. Yeah, so uh, sacrificing a child understandably is bad, but they'll,
No,
Yeah,
that's
desensitize
a
you to something.
crime. No, that's a crime.
Yeah, it's basically showing something very bad and then just settling for something very less. Jesus Christ.
But
hold on a
Wha-
second.
What do you mean?
I'm
You want to kill
lost.
a child?
Said if somebody cheats someone, nowhere is it considered moral, and there are
And
repercussions for it.
oh, repercussions because it's criminal, right?
No,
No.
repercussions,
Moral.
because it's immoral. And if somebody's, for example, even under common law or anything else, there are repercussions. There are repercussions.
Repercussions are for
Then you
crimes.
will get divorced. Or the person will break up with you. That's the repercussion.
That's the repercussion.
There are people that don't. Legal repercussions are because of crimes.
There are no legal repercussion for cheating.
Well, then that is wrong.
Wait, didn't you know that?
I was under the assumption that the world has
So
not
how are
become
you going to
that bad
punish?
yet.
No, I have a question. How will you punish someone who cheats
What
legally?
does the good book say?
No, legally, what would you do if someone cheats?
Well, if it is upon me, I would follow what the good book says.
No, I'm not talking about you. What should be the law in regards to that, in your opinion?
Should is a
That's what he
question
said, what
based on
the book says.
morality. The book says a
What does the
should.
book say?
Well, adultery is punishable by death
No, it's not.
if it's proved.
No, it's
Adultery is.
no, it's not.
I don't know what book
No,
you've been reading, but
Vishal is
according to
talking
Islam,
about
it is.
Quran. It's about talking about Quran.
It's not even punishable by death in the Quran. Show me, please.
Is the did the Islamic legislation change or what?
I mean,
Show me in the Quran. It says that somebody cheating or involved in adultery is supposed to be killed.
um,
I'm not completely sure if it's written in Quran,
And then,
but
then you need to
legislation
stop.
does exist.
Then you need to stop saying you go by the book, and by the book you're talking about the Quran. It does not. Show me
It
what.
also involves it also involves all the legislative things. Come on, Chaji, you understand what I'm
No,
saying.
no, but you have to be clear. Maybe somebody hearing this is going to think that the Quran states that. Quran doesn't state that.
The hadiths
Sid,
do, right?
Sid, maybe you're
hey,
misled.
एक second. So the punishment for adultery can be different?
Yes.
How?
Like how?
What do you mean how?
No, like how would be different?
On
Like,
what basis would
is
it
it
be?
dependent on the on like, for example, in today's time, stoning someone would be weird, so they could get a life sentence, maybe.
No, but it
There is
doesn't say. Who says you're going to stone someone for adultery? Who says that?
yeah, it's not actually stoning, but it is death.
No, show me. You keep claiming that. Where does it show that? Where
Okay,
does it?
let's go back to Dedi
No, but
AI.
most of those punishment are basically for the reason of making an example out of not spreading haram
No, but
stuff in the
legally, it
society.
doesn't say that. In under no Islamic law does it say that.
Well, let's just find out. We found out what was happening in Rwanda, didn't we?
Mhm.
No, with this, you show me the surah, please.
No, he's
With
talking
this,
about hadith.
When
No,
it
no, 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 no.
no,
Original text.
yes, original.
Oh, Madara,
well,
you're the
I
one to
guess
talk.
we are. I guess we are going to have to ask GPT again, because of course I don't remember
Do your
each
magic
and
GPT.
every verse. What?
Do your magic GPT.
Yeah, do your magic.
Abracadabra.
Guys, can somebody put it on screen? Shaji, can you please fix it? I'll be doing the prompt. Okay, it's talking about zina, which is not adultery. It is something different. What is adultery in Arabic, Shaji? Can you remind me?
I think zina
Adultery,
is adultery, no?
No,
zina,
it's not.
adultery is a form of.
Extramarital.
Hold on.
Sharmuta.
No, don't swear, man. Okay. Anyways, so anything which is carried out without marriage or nikah falls under adultery and under zina, and then there are kinds of zina. Like
Okay.
adultery is a form of zina. There you go.
So it is in Sahih Muslim, as we can see.
What does it say? Read it. I already know this. That's why I was so sure.
Take from me, Allah has ordained away from them for the unmarried 100 lashes, and exile for a year for the married 100 lashes, and stoning. A married man who commits adultery with a married woman, they shall be stoned to death. But it is not giving the exact reference. Why is it not giving the exact
Not
reference?
giving the exact reference because both of these are contested and they have a background story where a woman came to the Prophet and she basically said that uh, she is involved in that. And basically, she made it public in those regards. And even then, she was told not to abide by that. So he told her, she was basically of Jewish background. He told her, do what your people do.
Okay, now it is giving references.
Yeah, read the
And
back.
the hadith that you are mentioning is not that one.
Okay, which one is it?
It is Kitabul Hudud from Sahih Muslim 1690, and it does not talk about a Jewish woman.
What does it talk about? To read it. That's a different
Ah,
hadith.
well,
Also, before you read it out, also take out the chain of its narrations and see what classification this hadith is, and also bring out the context of the entire story rather than a one-liner. Please go ahead.
let me open that.
And also for the Malki, Shafi, Hanafi, and Hanbali, as well as for the Shia Asna Ashri, take out the circumstantial judicial law, which basically builds to that final punishment as well.
Well, here is the chain of narration of it,
Yeah, read it.
and here is,
Read it.
well, it's going to be hard for me to read the chain of narration because this particular website does not give me the chain of narration in English text. Uh,
You can read Arabic.
of course, I can. Hadithina Yahya bin Yahya al-Mumini akhbarna Hashim an
Don't do
Mansur
that, man.
an al-Hasan an
He took it as a
Yusuf bin
challenge.
Abdullah al-Qashi an Abada bin Abada bin As-Samit qala Rasulullah. So that's the chain of narration. But this particular website does not give uh, commentary in regards to the chain of narration.
Then go to
However,
it does.
I do not know where I will find it. Can you please guide me?
Shah, can you do it yourself, please?
No, I want him to do this exercise.
Why?
Go to Islam City.
Islam has a city. I thought we already had that in Islamabad.
Yeah, Islam City is a website. Go to Islam City. Look at the Shan Nazul of the ayat which it came with. So draw the ayat with it and
This,
see the
this,
circumstantial law. So let me explain something, Sid. Right? Whenever you're looking at laws, right, they're divided into two basic
look,
aspects. One is Asule-Din, which are the principles, as in that is going to tell you stealing is haram, adultery is haram, zina is haram, all that kind of stuff. So that comes in rule. Then you've got the Faru, right, which is implementation and what is going to be the repercussions of that. When that happens, the surah is taken into account. In what circumstance the surah came and was revealed comes into it is taken into account. On top of that, then there are interpretations in regards to the circumstance that event took place, and that is known as faru in terms of according to that circumstance what punishment you're going to be giving to that person. So it's not like how majority of Muslims in today's world basically think that it says it in the hadith that go and like chop off the hand of somebody who's just stolen. No, there's an entire court case behind it where the person who's stolen, his conditions, his circumstances, everything is taken into account. And somebody who's two people who've stolen something, they can get a completely different verdict. Same
yeah,
applies
I
to everything else. Same applies to zina. Same applies to adultery. Every case is
But
unique.
how
Every
Wait a
case.
second. Now I
how would
have it.
someone defend
Example.
adultery?
So let me tell you something. So there's something known as zina al jabr, right? That is also zina. Zina al jabr is basically a rape. Now there are two people involved in zina al jabr, right? One is the victim, who is part and parcel, and one is the perpetrator of that. Now, the person who's been raped in that association is not really, and there were times when people wanted to prosecute that person as well, and that has happened in societies and still goes on in society, and that's why these laws are there. It falls under the same category, but the punishment is very different. I'm using a clear cut example of why that is exempt. You're not going to either lash somebody who's raped, you're not either going to stone somebody who is raped, you're going to provide them protection instead and get them justice.
But
So
we are
that's why.
not talking about
Yeah.
that. We are
Oh,
talking
I'm
about
giving an example how law works. I'm giving you two extreme examples.
Look, Saji, we started off with the original text. You went
Yeah.
to all the other things.
Yeah, so
well, here we
that's the
are.
thing, Malara. The original text, the Quran, I'm very, very clear, does not say that anyone who commits adultery is going to be killed. It doesn't say that in any way. It's in the hadith. Some people have interpreted it in certain ways. They use some hadiths to basically justify it. But in many Muslim countries and in the judicial law, it varies because that's part and parcel of your interpretation
So
of what you're going to do.
what is the punishment in Pakistan?
In Pakistan, I've never checked. What's the punishment for adultery in Pakistan, said?
The way that you guys are describing it, I'm presuming there's none.
There
I don't
is a
know.
there is a
There must be.
punishment.
There must be.
Yeah, there
Go
is
and
a
check.
hudud
What is it?
punishment.
There's a Hadoop
Weirdly.
punishment, but what is it?
What
Check.
is the punishment for adultery in Pakistan law?
I think in Iran they stoned them.
Oh, they definitely don't stone anybody according to.
And the stoning is to
Oh my God.
1990s.
Adultery is not even considered a criminal offense. We are going down a. You know what?
So no, one thing
Yeah,
wasn't it
yeah,
like a
we are.
crime in hudud?
Yeah, you know what? Uh, what
So
it should be is that.
if adultery is not considered a crime, why is homosexuality considered a crime?
Adultery is somebody in a marriage going out and doing something, but zina is a crime. So that's the category you need to look for, rocket
Yeah,
scientists.
so basically get married to on paper and then go,
Oh, it still
around
falls
the.
under, rather than going into assumptions, it falls under zina unless the guy is married to the second woman as well. So look for the punishment of hadud.
Here is
Hudud.
the Hadud ordinance.
Yeah, what does it say? Read.
Stoning to death for married offenders, 100 lashes for unmarried. When was the last time that happened in Pakistan? Actually, I don't
500
think
years
that ever
ago.
I don't think that ever happened in Pakistan. And we
I don't
know
think they
the.
even have lashes to lash anyone.
No, I think we did have lashes, but I think
That's not.
we reserve that for journalists.
How are they going to
he,
lash someone to death in
no, this is not true, man. This is
No,
coming.
I think in Pakistan it just follow
This is
British law.
misinformation. Can you check the zina hudud ordinance on Pakistan's constitution, please?
This
No,
is
no, no,
the
no, no, no,
of
no.
Zina
Look,
Ordinance
look. I don't want to
1979.
know. The
I
thing
want.
is, I don't want to know what Pakistan law is. I know what Pakistan law is. It's British law. I don't know what you guys are looking up
Okay,
here.
so,
I
so
just
so
want to know what.
punishment ranges from public whipping, 100 lashes, and up to 10 years imprisonment for voluntary fornication to stoning to death for married adult. Mohsan, a second. Let me open the Offense of Zina Enforcement Law Government. Mhm.
Hudud punishments have practically become impossible after the
Can you?
200
Okay, just wait.
2006 reform.
To bring in conformity with the injunction of Islam, the law relating to offense, where is it is necessary to modify short definition in the ordinance. No, 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 blah, blah, blah. Zina. A man and woman are said to commit zina if they willfully have within without being validly married to each other. Explanation. Zina liable to had. It is committed. Zina is liable to had. It is committed by a man who is an adult and is not insane with a woman. Acha, theek hai. What's the Zina al Jabar? Explanation. Punishment. A person guilty of zina or zina al Jabar, if he is not adult and be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 5 years or with fine or with both, and may also be and uh, awarded the punishment of whipping not exceeding 30 strips, provided that in the case of the Nal Jabbar, if the offender is not under the age of 15 years, the punishment of whipping shall be awarded with or without any other punishment. Proof of zina, case in which had shall not be enforced. अब बस यही है
So
liable
you
ताजीर.
got to hear it here, folks. It's open season. You can do whatever you
It
want.
also includes selling
Follow
people
your
for
head
purpose
and
of
instinct.
prostitution, kidnapping or abducting a person, and zina al jabar to tazir, uh, buying person for purpose of prostitution,
So
cohabitation
I
caused by deceitfully inducing a belief of lawful
Yeah,
marriage. Wow, I didn't know that.
it's really great for
Cohabitation
people like
caused by
you.
so
That
woman can take a man to jail if he promises her, give her fake promises that he's going to marry her. Enticing or taking away or detaining with criminal intent women. Mode of execution of punishment of stoning to death. The punishment of stoning to death awarded under Section 5 or Section 6 shall be executed in the following manner, namely, such of the witnesses who deposed against the convict as may be available shall start stoning him, and while stoning is being carried on, he may be shot dead, whereupon stoning and shooting shall be stopped. Punishment for attempting to commit an offense. Whoever attempt to commit an offense punishable under the ordinance with imprisonment or whipping, or to cause such an offense to be committed, and in such attempt does not act toward the commission of the offense, shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to one half or the longest term provided for that offense, or with whipping not exceeding 30 strips, or with such fine as is provided for the offense, or with any two of or all the punishment. There's a baiting of an offense liable to had under the shall be liable to the punishment provided for. अच्छा जो whoever is abating the guilty person is also liable for the had.
the British are very thorough. All this
No,
punishment you
the
say,
HUD
I think
ordinance
it's from
was
British.
not by the British. The HUD ordinance was not by the British.
No,
Yeah,
it's
what's
the
okay,
point
wait.
is it's going to be different in different circumstances. Sid, do you understand?
Point is, yeah, the point is all of this is useless. The punishment practically is not existing if you're cheating.
So I'll revert back to the first question. What do you think should be the
What I think is it should be death.
would you
Uh-uh.
listen to what I'm asking? Can you answer that question rather than
So
Getting
answering
emotional.
before? Yeah, I don't care what you think. I am asking you, how are you going to punish somebody who cheats someone? How? What are the
like I said,
repercussions?
well, according to me, I believe it should be death. Isn't that what you're asking me?
So let me tell you one thing. Cheating for different people can mean different things and at different levels. So if there is somebody who's already married and goes and takes a second wife, that is considered cheating in the eyes. It's lawful Islamically, but that is considered cheating on a personal level if the first wife was not under that agreement. And if the second wife is not aware of the first wife, then that is deceitful. Do you understand? So, how will you prosecute someone like that?
According to how Sharia has built it up. First of all, the first wife not knowing about the second wife makes her not a wife, because that would be not a marriage, because that would be unlawful, and thus it would be cheating, and it should be prosecuted as such.
So,
Secondly, no,
so
wait a
after
second.
nikah, so
But
after,
second, in the view of people, is not how law is suggested, is it?
I'm not talking about
Islam
view.
tells us
No, I'm
exactly.
talking. So cheating is not between other people or others' views. Cheating is something personal between two individuals, and the third person who's involved in that. It's between those people, right? Because
Adultery is sexual relationships.
hold on. So even if you're doing zina, unless you have like two witnesses who've seen you in the act, you're not punished by death. You do
Because
realize
that's the
that.
limitation, because that is the limitation.
No,
And
that's
proof,
not a
if
limitation. There's a very precise reasoning behind that, and the reasoning behind that, and it's verified in hadith, and it is verified in various other judicial Islamic laws. And what you'll find is that both major Sunni groups and Shia groups actually agree upon that as well. And the reason is that is actually not punishment for zina. Actually, that is a punishment prescribed when two or more people have seen you in an act in compromised positions, and they become witnesses. You've made that, turned that case into a uh, into a public case, and that is causing ill within the society. So that applies to somebody like probably uh, porn stars are a perfect example of that. How many people are going to have two witnesses of there in terms of seeing somebody by indulging in a sexual act set?
witnesses, can they not be omitted in in existence of proof?
Nope. It says very clearly they have to see them performing the act.
We, I'm sorry, but
No,
what you're basically telling me,
that's what the text says.
that's what the textbook says. You have
Oh,
to
no, no,
understand the text,
that's the religious text is stating that.
and
That's
you have to implement the religious text according to its soul, don't you?
yes. So the thing is that whether it's zina or anything else, unless two people have seen that person, you can't even go out and harm them.
Yeah, take a bloody video of it and then show it to two people. That counts, done it. You
Yes.
need proof.
No, but physically you must see it. Physically, it is.
Saji, proof is what is required, isn't it?
It's not hearsay. So it's like that.
I know hearsay is not
And do
proof.
you know what else that says? It says very clearly, that text really clearly basically suggests if something like that happens, do not go and tell a third person. Do not make witnesses. Right?
Okay, so I get,
Right.
so
Right.
somebody gets cheated
And
on. Wait a
repent.
second, you're telling
And
me
repent.
somebody gets cheated on and they can do nothing about it. I don't think that's what Islam says.
That's not what I'm saying. I think you're very confused. I was talking about zina right now. I haven't gone on to cheating yet. What I'm saying is the prescription for zina requires two people who are witnesses, and it is like manifested that you should keep that as a secret and not make it public, because
Zina,
that is going to create
Guys, can I come in between?
yeah, go ahead.
So, Saji, you know what the right thing to do, but you are trying to put it in your religious, you know, jargon. But for Sith, it's completely unacceptable because he believes something that you don't believe because you grew up in a world which is not completely Islamic. Is that correct?
No, Madara, I'm the one who actually read the text, and he's the one who's heard the text. That's the difference.
And I'm the one who is appalled by the idea that cheating should not be punished.
I haven't.
And Shadi,
I described. I what I was speaking about is not cheating at this
I
stage. I'm
know you are using zina. You're
Sid,
using the
Sid,
Indian
Sid, Sid, listen,
language
listen,
translation.
Sid, listen. Do you know what's punishable though? Giving someone fake promises.
yeah. That
Spread the news. So many guys are going to jail.
Yeah, of course. Just do everything against men, and women get a free card.
but there are just as many women who make fake promises as well.
Sith, it's
Oh, but
like
they are not counted. You can't actually prove that a woman made a fake promise because it's a woman.
no,
You
look,
can with text messages.
look, no one deserves a death penalty, right?
No,
No
that
one
Of
we're not
course
deserves,
talking
they
about
do.
death penalty here, right?
no one
You
deserves a
are
death
not
penalty.
Shaji because you are trying to describe zina, which
What's a zina?
in the normal terms describes sexual activity that is illegal, right? It does not
Yeah,
Said,
necessarily
look,
be
even if it's illegal, said it is not
no, Madara,
punishable
you're
by
not
death.
understanding this, Madara. The
hold on,
root word zina
said,
is not
said,
about adultery. It's
said.
about, yes.
Listen. Okay, so step by step. Do you agree that for any kind of zina, it is basically stated that you require two adults who are witnesses?
Wasn't it four?
No, two.
Okay.
And they must see it, and that order, it is maligning the society, and it's like encouraged that it is kept under wraps, and they go and repent.
Uh,
Correct?
I don't, no, actually, I disagree on
Then
that part.
okay,
No,
so
actually, that's the first rule.
that's
You
the
know, you
first rule.
first,
No, no, no.
either, no, 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 no. The first rule, there are there's a process, right? There are three stages. First stage is they repent. Second stage is if they're both single, they get married. So, they're forgiven. Third stage is the whipping and the lashing and the stoning and the whatnot.
If there are two witnesses.
The
With
reasoning
really good character
for
of their own, not
the,
questionable
I
people.
understand that is a basis for the whole system of witnesses, but the whole reasoning for witnesses is to bring about the burden of proof because you can't go
Yes.
around
So they have
accusing
to prove it,
somebody
right?
for anything. You
So
need
so
proof of that.
so
And
now my question is, apart from Sunny Leone, who I'm sure you must have heard of, and Madara, right? How many women do you have proof of that they basically did something like that, or men?
well, I don't go around
Look,
looking
I
for
don't understand.
That's
Like,
the whole point. See, said no one has proof. If you find a girl and a guy who you think have such kind of a relationship, you could never prove it in court
if I wanted to hunt
because
somebody
nobody
down,
is
I
going to
can.
have the illicit relationship out in the public. The purpose of this
That
punishment, the
is
purpose of the whole
you
hudud
guys.
punishment is original.
Wait a
Listen to
wait a
me.
second.
Sid, listen to me.
This is
The
so
whole purpose
wrong.
of the whole purpose is
You
no, no,
guys
no.
are
Listen to
trying
me.
to
Yeah,
bend
just
all
listen
of
to me,
this.
man. You've been talking. Let me speak now. The whole purpose of the hudud and the homosexuality and all these laws is to make sure that the haram stuff do not become public and acceptable in the society. Otherwise, it is more accepted behavior to look the other way. You forgive them and Allah will forgive you, right? So that's the main. But if something becomes super public, like somebody, do it in publicly, right? It is like condoning that behavior. If you let it go, it's like condoning that behavior, right? That is not allowed. That's when the hudud applies to them.
And
You
it's
guys
very very there's a reason why it's called hudud said, because it's no longer within under the veil of privacy, and it's become public. And once something becomes public and somebody is still shamelessly carrying that on, it becomes the norm.
you guys are very conveniently trying to shift from adultery to
No, no,
some
no, no, no,
marital
no.
affair.
So that's the basis of it. Now we've established the base. We're coming to now adultery,
You
right?
cannot make the basis that to be
Base
the
the
basis,
base for
and then
adultery has to be zina because it's
Why
a.
is he so upset about it?
I don't know.
because the
So
adultery is
said
not the same as marital
said
affairs.
Sid,
hold
I
on.
also want to know
Hold
whether
on,
we
Madara.
stone.
One second, Madara. I'm coming to the conclusion. Why you need that? Adultery is a form of zina, right?
So is rape.
So in order to understand adultery, you will have to understand the punishment and the basis of zina. Then you go to adultery. That's how it works. Now that you've established what the rules and regulations of such acts are, now you can talk about adultery. It is a form of zina, said.
You cannot initiate the basis of a public immorality in a crime that is of personal nature.
Now, the next step is when you talk about adultery again, right? First, the wife or the husband has to basically prove that their spouse is cheating. So how will they do that? That's where your question lies.
In the modern day and age, there are numerous ways.
Yes. So so now in the modern day, I'm glad you mentioned that word. It will again be circumstantial. Every story is going to be different. Some.
Every story should be based upon whether or not it is
Oh my
proved
God.
or not.
How are
So
you going to prove it that it's true?
yeah, go on.
Just your words
That is
against theirs.
of course, that's not going to be. Look,
How are you going to do it?
the, what do you mean? How are you going to do it? That is case to case. The point
So
is,
what did you just say? Repeat that. It's unique. It is unique
let
to
let
case.
us suppose that I was
Okay, okay,
able.
okay, okay.
Wait
He
a
takes
second.
a
I
video.
was. Yeah,
Sid
if
takes
I
a
do have a
video.
video, what now? I get a video.
You got
Can
a
he get a
video.
stone?
Yeah, I got a video. Now
You got
what?
a video now. In
Now I
in
have definite proof of cheating occurring. Now,
so what will happen? You're going to go to the court, right?
Yeah.
yes,
Once you go to the court, you're going to go to civil court, so you're going to go to the Islamic court.
currently I do
Islamic
not even
court.
know.
He
I
feels
don't
like
even
Islamic
know
court.
which one.
No,
Islamic
I
court has
just for
no
you.
jurisdiction
Yeah.
at this point, so I don't know
Just
where
for
I
So,
will
you.
go.
so
The
you're
Islamic
basically
court.
going to go. So you're going to go to the Union Council in case of Pakistan, and you're going to write an application. For they're going to ask you if you're a Muslim, or they're going to ask you what sect you're from if you're a Muslim, and in accordance, if you're non-Muslim, civil law will apply to you, or the British law will apply to you. If you are a Muslim, what will happen is that implications of religion will come in there too, right? Now, in the Union Council, they will ask you. Uh, there can be two forms of cheating. One can be that the video is provided by the woman who is basically showing her husband indulging with somebody, and he can come and say that he's married to the other woman as well. Now that can still be considered cheating because he did not tell her.
How much are you going to defend cheating, Shaji?
Hold on, I'm not defending cheating. I'm
Dude,
saying
I want to see some stoning. Come on.
there's no stonings,
Well,
Madara.
if there is no stoning, then what's the point,
No
Shaji?
stoning,
The
Madara.
point is that there is
Somebody stone Madara.
So, so, so my point was,
basically what you're trying to tell me here is that there is no justice.
so what I'm trying to tell you, and I don't want to call you the DH thing again, is that this conversation basically began with me asking you that cheating is a moral crime, and it's immoral to cheat, and there are repercussions for it. So now when that woman goes into the court with her video and everything that her husband is cheating, there are repercussions. She can file for a divorce. Repercussion number one, she can ask for money. Repercussion number two, she can and that applies to a man as well. They will still ask, do you want to reconcile? They will ask for that thing. What they'll not tell you, under even in Saudi Arabia, by the way, and that's why union council meetings of this nature are held very privately, is to create witnesses and basically go out and conduct that so stoning can occur. They talk about reconciliation, and cheating can be of various things. There are always repercussions.
Shaji, cheating is. I don't know why are you trying to
Anyone who cheats
expand.
anywhere, my point over here is anyone who
Dude, cheating
cheats,
happens all the time. Even the best of
hold
the
on,
people.
anyone who cheats, who's legally married, anywhere around the globe has to pay a price for it. Whether it's a woman or it's a man, unless they
Sit,
reconcile.
Go to
listen to me.
California and find out if
Listen to
that's
me.
true.
Look, this is gonna happen to you. It doesn't matter how good you are. Some woman gonna cheat on you.
Well, then that
It's
just tells me that
inevitable.
I have got no.
Wow.
Well, that just
It's
tells me
inevitable.
that just tells me that I have
Okay,
no reason to trust
you
any
have
individual system.
you have to live with
If,
that fact.
but no, I do not want to, and I will not be willing to live with that fact. I'm sorry.
But it's so bad. You will
If
then you will,
if
you
if the
will
justice system has already failed to provide justice to me, there's no reason
Technically,
for me
look
to
Sid,
treat.
Sid,
when
Sid,
get a chance,
Madara, give
she
me a
will cheat
moment.
on you.
Mudara, give me a moment. Sid, technically,
That
if you look at it, Sid, if she cheats on you physically, you can take her to court in the whole hudud ordinance anyway. The only problem is if it's emotional one, then you can do much about it.
Yeah, you will not even know when she
Use your
cheats on you.
brain.
I don't think that I will be pursuing judicial systems at this point. I'm
Okay, don't
sorry.
let it go. Let it go.
We're,
Let it
we're,
go.
we're,
Let
we're
it go.
talking about society and civil law, not what you will do.
Yeah, you can
Well,
relax now.
the
You relax,
society
bro.
the
Neither are we
society
interested in
and
what
civil laws
Sid
have failed.
said. I'm just telling you, stick to the subject. Nobody gives a fuck what you or my opinion is. Okay.
Well, the subject, or the point of the
The
subject is
subject
that
was civil law. The
the
subject was
justice
society. It
is
was the framework and
non-existent.
punishment, not what Sid thinks.
The point is
Sid,
justice is
justice is
not.
blind. It's okay. Relax, man.
It's not blind. It's non-existent.
Now, why is that woman always wearing that piece of cloth on her eyes in the court? Because
It's
justice is blind.
Also non-existent, because that
Criminals can
woman in
get
the
away
statue.
with the criminal can get away with a lot of stuff if you have the right lawyers and money.
look, there is no one is like there is really no one promising you virginity. Okay. I don't know why you are
Guys,
like.
yo, guys, relax,
Zara, what
please.
are you
Come
talking
on.
about? Don't
Guys,
talk about
relax, please.
Yeah,
Guys,
president.
no, no. You guys need to relax. You guys
I,
need to relax, bro.
I think we need to stick to the subject. So, Sid, where this question began was, I said cheating is immoral and it has repercussions,
When
and
the
that's the fact.
repercussions is that you get a flick on the wrist, then it's not really a repercussion, is it?
Do you
I
want someone to die for cheating?
Yes.
Okay, that's your perception, but that's not the law anywhere around the globe. And I've
Why?
seen.
And it should be.
Can you let me complete my sentences, and I will pay you the same respect. Don't interject. I've requested you very nicely in regards to that. I've been very rude to you in regards to that. What the fuck do I have to do that you don't do that?
Sure, you can move on, please.
No, I want to ask that as well now.
I think when I am in my mood, I will interject. But
No,
carry on.
this is not Pakistan.
It is actually.
No,
Yes, it is.
no, I think you need to become a bit more civilized, Sid. It's okay, let people speak, and then you.
Ooh, said. Ooh.
No, but I am allowing you right now. You can talk.
Kiksha, can
Oh,
you get to your point?
if we're
Get to
going
your
to
point.
no, I will. Let me settle this. If we're going to have a constructive conversation, right, and we're building towards it, then we have to hear each other out, not interject each other like we're like putting each other down. I want these conversations to be like exchange of ideas rather than like people shouting their heads off. Is that okay, Sid?
For the next 5 minutes, it is.
No, I'm really sorry, but that's how it has to be.
Sha, can you please move on?
No, I
He's
want to
fine.
settle this for
I
you.
look.
You
All of us are humans here with emotions. There are going to be times when I
Then
will
it's time to become
interject.
a man, Sid. A
Sid,
man.
you're an emotion with a human, not a human with emotions.
Well, a man has emotions.
A man is supposed to control his emotions. Can we do that? Be a man.
You
And
guys, this is
I
becoming
am
back and
giving
forth.
you
Can you let
five
it
minutes.
go?
Yeah, I am giving you five
Yeah,
minutes of
please move
full
on.
answer.
Yes.
Guys, move
So
on.
I
Yeah. Yeah, you can mute yourself. Yeah, that's much
Even
better.
its
So go
ringtone
on,
is the
Sid.
even Raj's ringtone is the boring Nokia one, man.
Go on, Sid. You wanted to say something? Interject all you want right now.
Interjections are like bursts, right? It's not a long thing. They're just supposed to set the trajectory and then let the
Yeah,
person who was
but
talking.
you let the other person complete first, no?
That one is just
How are you going to get the whole point if you're not going to let them complete?
if the whole point deviates from something, then you just set it
Sid,
straight. No?
when I actually
Uh.
say I want to ask you a question, you begin answering. Right? That happened 5 times. I said, "Can I ask you a question?" And you started answering. I'm not asking you. I'm not showing you a question mark that you can choose an answer of something. It's very specific when somebody says that to you, right? You listen to the question and then answer it, right?
Well, then don't use long pauses between the questions.
No, so I want to ask you a question. Now answer this.
Go on.
No, I want to ask you a question. 5 times I said that, and on 5 occasions I saw you started answering before the question was reiterated.
Well, you did say something, and I started to
No,
answer. You had
I
long.
simply said, "Can I ask you a question?" And like now answer it. I want to ask you a question, Sid. Answer.
Go on, ask me the question.
You see how absurd that sounds, right?
Well, when you do have a sentence after it and then a long pause, automatically I'm going to assume that
You should
your answer is perfectly right.
do this exercise, right? After this podcast is over, whatever this is, right? Go and listen to it, And you'll see about 5 times I said, I want to ask you a question. And then we started with a rant.
Can you guys move on now?
I don't know. Can he?
Can you sure?
No, the bigger question is, have you understood? Yeah. Have you
He's not
understood?
ready to move on, Sid.
I mean, let's like decide on rules of engagement today.
No. How about we do it the old
That's
discussion
the
way,
that's the
where
most
people
stubborn
are
no I've
not.
ever heard. No.
No. You want to ask me a question? You ask it.
Okay, I want to ask you a question. Now answer.
Yeah, the answer is no. I'm very good at this. You have to understand.
You see how is that what we're here for? Like shutting each other up.
No, Shadi, when look, you do have long pauses, all right?
I have long poses or I don't have long poses, but the thing is that what we're here for?
From
Well,
politics to drama.
I
Look, say
mean,
I really don't want to call you a dickhead ever again, and I would appreciate if you also
You
like.
guys, that language is unacceptable. That
I
language is
know
unacceptable.
that's exactly what I'm saying, and I apologize. I used that word, but that's the whole thing. Said that when we're having a conversation, it should seem like a conversation, not a fighting match.
I mean, it's all right.
Can I ask a question to Seth?
Mm,
Carry
go on.
on.
Seth, you said that you're doing some business in Pakistan, right?
Yeah, I do have a small business.
Like, do you consider yourself upper middle class in Pakistan?
Lower to middle
What?
class.
No, I think you're upper middle class. Don't you think?
uh, Middle class at most.
Okay. And like you are like really, really well versed with like I don't know, all the people around the world.
I wouldn't say that, but I've been around.
I still don't understand why you think that, something very. I understand that, when you promise someone, you have to keep it. When you break the promise, you have to get some kind of punishment. But I would never say that, it has to be like death penalty. I don't understand like why you have to say that. It's really, really like I cannot even imagine someone will say that you have to go to that uh,
Hello?
extreme.
The reason behind that is that family is the basic building block of a society. When adultery occurs, it breaks the sanctity of a marriage, which is the basic building block of how you build up a society. When you destroy that, and there is no defensive mechanism for that, what you're doing is that
What
you're
about
telling.
you, Sid? Like, what about you, Sid? Maybe like you are doing the adultery, not your wife, not your girlfriend, but you are the
I
adultery.
I should deserve the same then.
You really think so?
Yes, it should not be
No,
allowed.
guys. Can we please skip this topic? Can we move on from this? Like, it's getting to a place where it's uncomfortable. Let's not,
Yeah, that
please.
is uncomfortable. It is an uncomfortable topic.
Yeah, let's move on to something else. Do we have any other punishment in Islam that we can discuss?
Well,
Yeah.
if
I
there is no punishment for
let's
this,
talk
then
about
what's the
let's talk about
point?
Pakistan.
Just
Okay, I
throw the whole
actually
damn
don't I
thing
actually
to the
don't care.
trash.
Madara, have you seen that documentary on Netflix where this family did some tantric stuff and they all hanged themselves from banyan tree?
No, I didn't. I didn't see this, but I saw one like weird YouTube video where they like killed, like the parents killed themselves, but the kids were like running around and they didn't know what happened. Something
It
like
is,
that.
yeah. You sometimes in this documentary, what happened is that there's this family who's into these tantric stuff. So there are kids and there are older people, and what they do is they hang themselves from the banyan tree, thinking that they're going to be, they'll come back again. But I mean, they all died. The whole family. It was like 7 or 8 people, I guess.
Like we have 1.4 billion people. What do you expect? There are a lot of idiots.
It was a big case. There was a whole documentary on it.
Yeah, of course, you always make a documentary of something.
We didn't make it. Some Indian made it.
I know, I know. Of course, there are a lot of always like Indians waiting to make a documentary out of this poor people.
Shaji, you became silent all of a sudden.
Yeah, so did you.
Hey, I'm a reactive guy. I don't initiate.
Anyways, I don't know if you're like having a conversation to understand, then you have to listen to people, and then respond. It kind of destroyed the conversation.
What were you going to say anyway?
I don't remember. That's the problem.
Same things happened to me. I don't
Yeah,
remember what I was
because
about to say there.
it's because somebody's just going. If you're discussing something complex, then it takes a lot of energy, and if somebody just disrupts in the middle, then it's gone.
Yeah, so let's talk about conspiracies. Let's move on from that. Do you know that a lot of people are saying this is alleged now? It's not that it's proven, but a lot of people are saying that those. So Balenciaga had this campaign, right, where they used kids with sexual stuff around them, right? So what happened was that a lot of people were upset at that setup, and um, later on there was some people who were discussing it that allegedly when these brands make these videos, it is like kind of uh, kind of showing it to you but not showing it to you, so that the bad karma don't stay with them, it is transferred to the world. Do you think that might be true? It kind of makes sense, all of these Hollywood people, making these signs and everything. All of this is like part of the ritual or something. It's like the karma, because apparently all of these people who are in these secret societies, they are very spiritual. Wouldn't that give spirituality a bad name, though? Do you think Sufism would be counted as such?
Why would Sufism be counted?
Isn't
It's just
Sufism
like,
about spirituality?
look, it's just the same as when you mentioned that how you said that Christianity, Islam, and Judaism has black magic. No, it doesn't. It is what stands against black magic.
I never said it was part of it. What is wrong with you? I'm
I
just saying
know,
that it
but
could be
you,
misused in a
you
way.
bring. I was saying that the way you framed it, that is what it sounded like. Uh,
Oh, no, 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 sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
because the uh, Islamic, Christian, and Judaic spiritual counterparts are exactly fighting against black magic. So the Sufi spiritualism would be directly against these kind of spiritual practices. It would be what would stand against
So,
these
Sid, can
things.
I tell a story?
Yeah, yeah, carry on.
I come far away from Punjab, right? Like I have no connection with all your people and all this Sufi thing, all this thing. But one time, my cousin child got a fever. Uh, like then one time she said, "Okay, I have to go to this temple." The temple is a Sufi temple, Sufi Islam temple. I didn't say that she didn't have to go or whatever. Like it's so acceptable in my family that okay, like go there and get blessed. It is that integrated in our culture. You think it's a bad thing or it's a good thing?
I think it's a stupid thing.
Why?
The reason is basically that's it's a mockery of religion, both of them. Islam, the way it is structured, and Hinduism, the way it is structured, are.
But but you don't even answer one question about Islam.
What do you mean? I did not remember. We were
Like
discussing.
we just discussed about the stoning of people. You didn't answer anything. It's all up to Mahan. She was like shuffling through things and Saji and everything. You didn't answer anything.
I was not asked anything in that structuring.
Okay, go on.
I was
So
asked.
what like you think it has to be true, but like is this anything pure? What is pure Islam?
What is what Islam?
What is pure Islam? What is like pure your religion?
Oh,
Is
pure.
anything pure?
Yeah, you see, Islam is a religion. It's not a Jews, sorry. So it's not like you can extract pure Islam. Islam is a religion, a way of life. You have
So
to
no, no,
interact
no.
with.
Like look. If you say like I cannot go to this, I cannot let this my cousin go to this Sufi shrine where they are buried some saints and get blessed there. You say
I
that is
cannot
not Islam.
stop you.
Then
No, no,
so tell me what
uh,
is Islam?
no, no, no. Here's the thing. Uh, I, as a Muslim, reserve no right to stop you or your cousin or anybody else from visiting any shrine. By the way, they're called shrines. Uh, you asked me what I think about that happenstance. My answer was that I think that's stupid. The reason being is I don't think that there's any substantiation to it that is religious. It can be a cultural thing, but for somebody like me, cultural things are, well, hollow. They do not mean much to me, in my view. So, because visiting shrines or visiting temples, in my view, is a religious practice for religious purposes. If you're doing it as a cultural practice, similar to a lot of other cultural practices, I would find it meaningless, on the verge of stupidity. That's why I said that's something stupid because it holds no meaning. That's what my point was. It was not that you know, I think that there's some Islamic law that would prevent you or anybody else from visiting a shrine, or that would
So
prevent me from entering a
what do you
temple.
do religiously? Like how do you pray? How do you worship? Like you go to a mosque,
Yeah, preferably yes.
so you don't go to a shrine. For you, that is stupid.
Well, I do go to a shrine, but I'm a
But
Muslim.
it's stupid.
No, look, me going to a temple would be stupid unless I'm visiting for, uh, tourism reasons. I would not carry any religious sentiment towards a temple. It's a temple, it's not a mosque, it's not a shrine. It has no religious association to me.
Okay. So
I
so you
cannot.
are down. So okay. So you're down with both shrine and mosque, as long as it's Muslim.
I mean, a mosque is a mosque, and shrines, there's a there's some nuances there, but generally speaking, yes, I'm down with the
Generally,
mosque.
and the
Yeah,
shrine.
because yeah, because well, I'm a Muslim. That's where my association should be. If I go to a temple similar to how I go to a shrine, well, then who am I fooling? Am I fooling myself? Am I fooling God? Am I fooling the government? What exactly am I doing? That was the point. By the way, what did your cousin do in that shrine? But like,
No, so Sid, can I ask you a question?
sure.
Why aren't you answering?
I did. No, I did answer.
No, Sid, my cousin went to the temple, went to the shrine because her kid was like really sick, and she thought that maybe like this god, one of the gods, will help her. That's it.
But your cousin is a Hindu.
Yeah, and your god is one of the gods.
So now our God is one of the. See, actually, no, even in Hinduism, that's not applicable.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
Hinduism,
actually, it is.
it
They're
is.
cool. They're cool with that.
Look, we can integrate like fucking. Sorry, we can integrate any gods in our pantheon, in
it's
our
like the
Hindu.
Romans and the Greeks, man. Come on.
We are. Technically, we are.
God damn. You know, at that point, I don't know if it is the man who made the God or the God that made the man.
It is in
If
our
that,
scriptures.
I'm certain that in your scriptures there is no mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
What are
No,
you talking about, Sid? What do you take the term Paramatma as? Or
Ah,
Ishwar?
you do have a point there, but I don't think that they recognize uh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or our concept of it
no,
similar
of
to how.
course not. Look, I have a very low opinion of your religion, Sid.
Yeah, I understand that you're a
Sid,
Hindu.
tell me, who are they talking about when they
Can
talk about Paramatma or Ishwar?
How would I know? I'm not a Hindu.
Then how can you make that assumption that they have no idea about the single God or entity, the creator of everything?
If you're going to, you know, uh, downgrade it to that bare concept of the single entity, then yeah, but that's a nuanced approach.
That's not a nuanced approach. How can you say that if you've never read the text?
What do you mean? When you're defining the Hindu concept of Ishwar as the singular uh,
No,
uh, divine entity,
it
then
doesn't.
it would
It
be
doesn't work
similar.
like that.
See,
What's
I'm
the
talking.
okay?
You're
So
giving me
so
the
what's the
definition.
concept?
He is the Hindu.
What's the concept of God or Allah in Islam? Go on, tell me. Define Allah.
قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Say he is God one and only. Lahu Samad. He is what's the I'll have to open the translation, but basically the definition of God
No,
is Surah
I'm not
Al-Ikhlas.
asking you what the surah says. I'm saying what is the concept of Allah then?
It is in the surah. Where else am I going to get the
Yeah,
understanding?
so that's not just in one surah. That's one some of the attributes you're talking about in uh this ayat.
Don't translate so I can understand.
No, hold on, Madara. My question is, Sid, you basically said that the concept of a single entity in Hinduism is like very superficial, or if I'm going to downgrade it to that. So what's the upgraded version in Islam? Please explain.
No, what I said was that when you are going to give the definition to me, then of course I'm going to say that it is similar to our understanding of Allah.
But you said the opposite.
No, I did not. You understood the opposite.
Okay, then explain what's the definition in Islam.
The definition is, if you want me to define Allah in a summarized way, I have no other option but to recite Surah Al-Ikhlas. That is the understanding of Allah.
Yeah, then explain that in English. Go on.
Oh, I'll just have to Google it again because
No, if you have to Google what the definition of Allah is, then how do you believe
Bro,
it?
you're not true
Basic.
Muslim.
I'm having a little bit of trouble translating the word Samad.
No,
How am I,
then
how am I going to translate Beniyaz in English? I'm sorry, I'm not
then
that.
then, then so explain it in English what it is. What is God? If you have to read it,
Bro, you speak more English than me. Come on.
Yeah, but I will have to expand the meaning of Beniyaz, and it's not going to be a one-word translation in English. At least that's not what that is in my knowledge. Beniyaz basically it can translate to uncaring, it can translate to untethered, it can translate to independent, it can translate to something that is not rooted in anything other. That is why I'm having trouble explaining the concept of the word Allahu Samad.
no,
I understand it in my language,
fine
which is
enough, but
Urdu.
what's God? What's God then?
God is one. He is independent. He was neither born nor has he given birth to similar to anyone similar to him, and there is no equivalence to him. That is the conceptualization of God.
These are just attributes of Allah.
Yeah, you define things by their attributes.
Yeah, but if somebody is that sufficient, Madara, in your opinion? Like somebody just giving attributes, or
Look,
what?
sufficient for what?
No, for your understanding, like if somebody gave a bunch of attributes, would you understand their belief in God? Like, would that be enough? That's just characterizing that is
No,
that.
like it's a very, very narrow thing, right? I mean, you're just uh, describing very specific thing about characteristic about your God, appearance, whatever. It does not really interest me. What interests me is your behavior. That interests me more.
And if you want a more specific answer, Chaji, from me, then you will have to ask me a specific question.
I
If you're
did.
going
I
to
did.
ask me, you asked me a very open-ended question, define God, which generally, when somebody asks a Muslim that question, we have no other option but to refer to Surah Al-Ikhlas. If you want to be more specific, you have to be more specific.
Sid,
No,
Well, how do you
look.
define God?
Obviously, you've read Surah Ikhlas, right? You've read. You call yourself. You are a Muslim. You read other stuff as well. So if somebody asked you, what do you believe? What is your concept of Allah? You can't be Google searching about it. Should you be Google searching about it?
I had to Google search for one word. You know, it's a hard concept to translate in English because there is no one to one translation for the concept of samad.
Sid,
There
can
is no
you
one to
bring
one
up
translation
Sid,
for the concept of beniaz.
Sid, can you bring up some verses on pagans?
I can, but I don't want to right now.
Come on, man, do it.
I'm
Why
not
why would
feeling
you want them to do that, Matara?
He wants to start. He wants to start a Hindu-Muslim conversation. Let's do it. Why don't you just bring it up? Said.
hell no, it's almost 5. I'm not doing that right now.
You
Yeah,
That's
know,
I think that's only fair.
Come on, dude. I have been listening to you guys for a long time. Bring it.
hey, eh,
Bring it.
look, I'm not going to have that kind of energy at this hour, man. If you asked me for that,
Yeah,
like,
let's discuss that tomorrow.
yeah, if you had brought that up like an hour or 2 hours ago, probably, but right now I'm at my wit's end.
no, but 2 hours ago, if he would have asked you that question, he would have just said, I want to ask a question, and then you would have started answering. You would have even heard
You know
him.
what? People don't have uh, uh, spectrum of focus as little as you. People can actually retain memory, right?
Oh, personal attack.
Personal attack.
Said, my attack was not personal to you, it was impersonal.
So was mine. People should have memory retention.
They should have memory retention, but do you know, if you were in one of my auditoriums and I was speaking and you did that, do you know what I would do?
If I
Kick
was
him
in one
out.
of your auditoriums, I think I would, be not doing it
Oh,
like
even
that.
even even if you were one of the people who I'm mentoring and like supervising for their thesis, do you know what I would do?
Kick him out.
I would
Probably beat me up.
I would actually fail you.
Yeah. Ah.
Oh, if there was some scoring happening, of course I would be, more careful.
Oh, Sid. That's a
Because
personal
it would
attack, Sid.
be for, not for
You should
the
avenge
reason.
yourself. You should
Sid,
tell
do you
you
have a
should tell
girlfriend?
Shah that if he was a
What?
if he was a footballer, you'd give him a compromised football.
Why? Like, it was not offensive.
Because you
I
people
Said,
are making up fake
said,
scenarios. I made up one.
No,
said,
what Shah did was not offensive.
like the IRGC spokesman told Trump, said, you're fired.
From what?
I don't know. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. And wow, whatever he said, it did not feel offensive. So why would I be offended?
No, but said you're fired from sanity.
Oh, that happened long ago, actually.
So you're admitting on right now, right here, and this is like now on record that you're insane.
Everybody is a little bit insane. We're living in the 21st century.
I'm not doing
The
poetry, bro. You're
society.
either insane or you're not.
Oh, then everybody's insane.
Why are you always concerned about everybody?
Hmm. Like we're asking about you. We didn't ask you how your neighbor is. Are you insane or
Uh,
not?
I guess it's one of my personality traits.
How many do you have?
3.
You have three personalities.
Yeah.
Are they cheating on each other?
Oh, uh, I'd have to think about that actually.
Is one of them going to get prosecuted? Is it a crime?
No, not yet. All of
It's
them are
time to
legal
go.
right now.
Okay. Thank you everyone for
Anyway,
listening in. It's time to go, Sid. Time to go.
yeah.
Thank you
Have a
everyone for listening in, and guess we'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, Shah, can you close this? Can you close the session? I'm just gonna say good night, goodbye, and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So subscribe the channel, and we'll see you tomorrow again, and with some other interesting stuff about the pagans or maybe the Iran situation. But till then, have a good day, good evening, and good night. Bye bye.